A real treat.
Just in time.
Aloha, welcome to the Pro Bowl.
Aloha.
Aloha, welcome to the Pro Bowl.
Aloha.
Aloha.
You can't bring this weak-ass stuff up in this holly. If you're going to distract, Triple T's going to attack. You lay one of my boys again, and I'm going to lay your pretty grass skirt out, because there ain't no kahuna bigger than Triple T. Woo!
Many of the players were simply flummoxed when they found out terrible Terry Tate was added to the Pro Bowl roster.
Get your new thing in that playbook, McNair! Woo! If my job is to motivate my team, minimize distractions, and maximize pain...
I got it, man.
Wow! Well, you know Triple T gonna butter that roll all day, every day. Aloha, Dante! Run, Twinkle Toes, run!
Terry's nurturing.
First no-no's no partying. No party.
His gentle guidance this week has really helped these first-time Pro Bowlers maintain their focus.
So you wanna work on your swing, huh? 25. Wait a minute, hold on, son. You dancing like you got a nay-nay in your shorts. I just want to make sure everybody's here having good, clean fun. No problems. 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3. Baby, baby, baby. Baby, baby. Ow, I got the feeling.
Mr. Tate has taken it upon himself to ensure that everyone here in Honolulu gives no less than 110%.
But I just wanted some poi.
Boy! Who you calling boy, Sugar Snaps? I got the boy right here, son! Whoa!
Tiny bubble.
Hey! Come on, ho! You got to make me feel the bubbles! Bloop, bloop. Bloop, bloop. Bloop, bloop. I don't care if it's your first Pro Bowl or your seventh, whether you're a fan or a part of the media. I'm making my business to make sure you take care of your business.
The world wants to know, boxers or briefs?
Julian, boxers? What kind of nammy-pammy questions that, son?
I must say, having Triple T here to motivate the teams has allowed me to kick back, relax, and really enjoy this whole Pro Bowl week.
Tiny bubble.
You can't outrun the pain train, baby! Woo-hoo!
In the wine. Make me happy. Make me feel fine.
Welcome to beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii, where it's always a sunny 82 degrees for the AFC NFC Pro Bowl game at Aloha Stadium.
Make me happy.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick. It's great to have you with us. It's a thrill for all of us at ESPN to have this game again, and we're going to be bringing it to you in a way you've never seen it before. 12 players wired for sound, including Pro Bowlers like Ray Lewis and LeVar Arrington, and all 6 quarterbacks, including the league's co-MVPs, Steve McNair and Peyton Manning, Joe.
Well, you know, like Peyton Manning finally put to rest all those stories about he can't win a big game, he can't win a playoff game. He certainly did. He got within 1 game of the Super Bowl. 29 touchdown passes, another 4,000 season, a record-setting season for Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts. And boy, the guy you're so excited about seeing here is Steve McNair. The real conscious, the real leader of the Tennessee Titans. A man that's probably known more for his toughness than his ability to do anything with the football. Although it's his ability to what he was able to do with the football that got him here to the Pro Bowl. Steve McNair is one of 41 players that are here for the first time, Michael. 41 guys. It's unbelievable. And the emotion and the excitement that they're going to have.
And we're happy for all of them. Thank you, Joe. One of the unique aspects of this game has always been special teams. All these guys have been stars all their lives, and some of them haven't been on special teams, Paul, since they were in high school.
Well, Michael, this is my favorite part of this football game is special teams. You got the 4 best kickers in football here. You got the 2 best return men here, including Kansas City Chiefs return man Dante Hall. Last year he had 4 touchdowns and returns, 2 kickoffs, 2 punts. The question is in this ball game is who's going to be able to go downfield and tackle him. You know, Michael, I have the feeling he may just get 4 touchdowns today.
All right, thank you, Paul. And when we come back to Honolulu, we will meet the starters for the NFL's 2004 Pro Bowl. Now let's take a look at today's FedEx Air Stats. Visa presents ESPN SkyCam, innovative technology on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Visa SkyCam provides some of the most unique and memorable images ever seen from angles no other single camera in the world can achieve. And we're excited to bring it to you on all of our NFL telecasts. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the starting lineups for the National Football Conference All-Stars. First, the defensive starters. At defensive end, from the St. Louis Rams, number 91, Leonard Little. From the New York Giants, number 92, Michael Strahan. Our interior lineman from the Carolina Panthers, number 77, Chris Jenkins. From the Dallas Cowboys, number 97, Leroy Glover. At linebacker from the Washington Redskins, number 56, LeVar Arrington. From the San Francisco 49ers, number 98, Julian Peterson. From the Chicago Bears, number 54, Brian Urlacher. Playing cornerback from the Detroit Lions, number 32, Dre Bly. From the Washington Redskins, number 24, Champ Bailey. At safety from the Minnesota Vikings, Corey Chavis. And from the Dallas Cowboys, number 31, Roy Williams. And now the NFC starters on offense. At wide receiver from the Arizona Cardinals, number 81, Anquan Bolden. From the St. Louis Rams, number 81, Torrey Holt. At tackle from the St. Louis Rams, number 76, Orlando Pace. From the Dallas Cowboys, number 76, Flozell Adams. At center from the Minnesota Vikings, number 78, Matt Burke. Playing guard from the Green Bay Packers, number 62, Marco Rivera. From the Dallas Cowboys, number 73, Larry Allen. At tight end from the Atlanta Falcons, number 83, Algie Crumpler. At fullback from the San Francisco 49ers, number 40, Fred Beasley. At running back from the Green Bay Packers, number 30, Amon Green. And starting at quarterback from the Minnesota Vikings, number 11, Dante Culpepper. Now the starters for the American Football Conference All-Stars. First on defense. At defensive end from the Miami Dolphins, number 93, Adewale Ogunleye. From the Indianapolis Colts, number 93, Dwight Freeney. The interior lineman from the Jacksonville Jaguars, number 93, Marcus Stroud. At linebacker from the Buffalo Bills, number 51, Takeo Spikes. From the Tennessee Titans, number 53, Keith Bullock. From the Baltimore Ravens, number 52, Ray Lewis. From the Miami Dolphins, number 23, Patrick Surtain. At safety from the Baltimore Ravens, number 20, Ed Reed. From the Miami Dolphins, number 31, Brock Marion. And now the AFC starters on offense. At wide receiver from the Indianapolis Colts, number 88, Marvin Harrison. From the Cincinnati Bengals, number 85, Chad Johnson. At tackle from the Baltimore Ravens, number 75, Jonathan Ogden. From the Cincinnati Bengals, number 71, Willie Anderson. At center from the New York Jets, number 68, Kevin Mawai. Playing guard from the Pittsburgh Steelers, number 66, Alan Faneca. From the Kansas City Chiefs, number 68, Will Shields. At tight end from the Kansas City Chiefs, number 88, Tony Gonzalez. From the Kansas City Chiefs, number 49, Tony Richardson. At running back from the Baltimore Ravens, number 31, Jamal Lewis. And starting at quarterback from the Tennessee Titans, number 9, Steve McNair. And from the world champion, New England Patriots, number 24, Ty Law. Number 93, Richard Seymour. Number 55, Willie McGinnis. When we come back to Aloha Stadium, we will honor America. Welcome back to Aloha Stadium in Honolulu. And with us to sing our national anthem, Beat Club Interscope recording artist, Kylie Dean.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, oh, so proudly we hailed at the twilight's nest gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the peril last fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets
When we come back, the kickoff of the 2004 Pro Bowl.
ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Could I just get a Ray Lewis woo? Whoa! No. That's not the Ray I know. See, the Ray I know remembers 2000, Super Bowl 35, 70,000 screaming fans, 140 million people, and then you break out the tunnel. Let me hear you roar! Wow! Yeah, that'd be it.
Thank you, Mr. Tate.
You're welcome, Mr. Lewis.
And now for today's Pro Bowl coin toss. Team captains from the NFC. Quarterback Dante Culpepper, linebacker Brian Urlacher, and punter Todd Sauerbrunn. And from the AFC, quarterback Steve McNair, linebacker Ray Lewis, and special teams player Gary Stills. Joining NFL referee Pete Morelli as today's honorary captains are our legend coaches, Hall of Famers Don Shula and Marv Levy. And representing our men and women in the United States military stationed around the world, Admiral Walter Doran, Commander of the Pacific Fleet, and Rear Admiral Bernard J. McCullough, Commander, Navy Region Hawaii, and Commander, Naval Surface Group, Middle Pacific.
Welcome, men, and congratulations. This is heads, this is tails. You're the visitor who will make the call. Heads is the call. Admiral Doran will flip the coin. Heads is the call. It is heads. Won the toss. They elect to receive. Okay. NFC won the toss. Elects to receive. Let's go, men.
As always, Susie Culber is with us. She's on the field with Tony Dungy. Susie?
Well, Mike, so much has been made about the increased level of enthusiasm and excitement because of all the first-timers. What difference do you think we'll see in the game?
I think that is true. I think you've got a lot of young guys that really want to show what they're all about and that they can play on this level and they deserve to be in the game. So I think you'll see some people really shine today.
You have the best players in the world and two great coaching staffs. We know there's a great exchange of information during the week. What have you learned this week?
Well, I've learned a lot. I've learned that what makes good players good is how they approach the game. And our guys have been so professional. They've been so great to be around. It's been a lot of fun.
This week is about celebrating with your family. We know that's kind of been tough on you, so here's your chance for a shout-out.
Yeah, I'd like to say hi to my boys, James and Eric. School didn't coincide with them being over here, so they had to stay home. I miss you guys. I'll see you when we get back.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
Let's go over to Chris Mortensen.
All right, here with Andy Reid. Andy, fortune or misfortune, is your third straight Pro Bowl. Did you use this as a fun week, or did you guys take time as an organization to regroup?
Well, we watched a little film on the personnel coming up for the offseason here, but other than that, we relaxed and enjoyed life. And, you know, we had to come back this year to see you, Chris.
Well, that's a good thing. I'm glad you did, by the way. By the way, Tony Dungy just said the one thing he really appreciated was the professionalism of his players. You had to send Simeon Rice home for disciplinary reasons. What can you tell us?
Well, that's really between the league and Simeon and myself. And, you know, we did what we thought was best, and we move on.
All right, just one quick, you don't have a long snapper, a true long snapper for this game. Could present a problem with the outcome.
Well, we're going to try to get Berman to suit up for us and snap a few back there, but we'll make it work.
We'll see. All right, Mike.
Mort, thank you very much. The NFC, as you saw, has won the toss. They have elected to receive on this new field turf field. No more hard as a rock AstroTurf.
You know what? And it's a nice surface. I had a chance to walk around on the field before. It's got a nice feel to it, and I think the players enjoy it because they don't feel like their spikes or their cleats will get caught up in it.
You know what? In the L1, which is right next to the kicker going down to break the wedge, is the most expensive man in all of football, Dante Hall.
Is that opposite R1?
All right, right across from him.
Okay. Mike Vanderjagt to kick to Jerry Azuma, who led the league in kickoff return yardage. 29 yards of return, and he goes down shy of the 22. Zach Thomas on special teams, the middle linebacker of the Dolphins. And here comes Dante Culpepper, who was the starter in this game after the 2000 season, only the 5th player ever with 2 Pro Bowl starts in his first 5 years.
Really got a lot better this year with his completion percentage, up to 65%. Of course, he's the NCAA leader at over 70%.
Ahman Green and Fred Beasley are the running backs behind Culpepper. And Dante to throw on first down, dumps it off to Ahman Green, and he can't hold it.
I thought Dante Culpepper really took strides to work on the maturation process in his game, the decision process, how to get rid of the football. Of course, a year ago, he was stuck in the Randy ratio. Turns out Randy Moss wound up with about 30% of the receptions anyway for the Minnesota Vikings, but that came more natural this year. And I really feel like Dante has just started to scratch the surface to take that offense where they want in Minnesota.
Draw play. Green, nice room up the middle, and drags tacklers with him to the 32 for a first down. Packers running back Ahman Green set new career highs with 1,883 yards rushing this year and 15 touchdowns. The 3-time Pro Bowler rushed for over 100 yards 10 times during the regular season and broke Jim Taylor's single-season rushing record that had stood for a long, long time. First down, Green is the only one in the backfield behind Culpepper. And Culpepper throws intended for Anquan Bolden. Ty Law was right there to break it up, as he did so many times during the regular season for the Patriots.
Ty Law has not missed a beat. That was the Super Bowl a week ago. Here he is now playing exactly the way he played all year long. Here's Ty Law, number 24. Just watch this on Bolden. There's just no chance. That ball, he's there, the ball's there.
He thought it was Musa Muhammad from the Carolina Panthers. He says, I'm having flashbacks to a week ago.
He has played on a bad ankle all year long, still has it. Green. Hitting the backfield, spins off the tackle. Gets a block, 45, 49-yard line, Ahman Green. Ray Lewis finally got him, but he picked up 16 yards.
One of the reasons why it is very, not simple, but easy to run the football is because you have man-to-man blocking. There are no deals by the defensive line. You take a look at Ahman Green. Now, they've got him in the backfield. They think. You look at Keith Bullock, number 53. What a great job he does because he trails the whole play. And you're watching. He's going to be blocked on the right-hand side. Now watch number 53. When he ends up making the tackle.
Sean Alexander of the Seahawks checks in, and that pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Looked like Gary Stills from his defensive end spot. Gills selected as a special teamer, but playing some defensive end.
The other thing you're going to notice in this game is early in this game, each of the coaches and the players will feel one another out. A lot of these guys have been off for quite a while. And so they don't want to go out and pull a muscle or hurt themselves. And really, the practices haven't been all that tough. About 45 minutes each day before they head for the course. So you'll see him start to gradually get a little more speed going.
Culpepper trying to scramble and throws the outlet to Beasley. Beasley gets away from Reed, and then Reed gets in on the final tackle with Bullock.
Now, this is just awareness by a quarterback, and one of the reasons why Dante Culpepper is in the Pro Bowl. You know, these are all different players from all different teams. And then here's Dante. He's being rushed, but watch what he does. Watch how cool he is to get a hold, find Culpepper. Watch him, he'll find Beasley. Slips, sees Beasley out on the outside, gets the ball to him.
One other thing about that, Paul, is this is a very unfamiliar offense for Dante Culpepper. The last time he was here, he played as a Minnesota Viking in that offense because the coaches were here. Now, all of a sudden, this has been a little bit of a challenge for him. Just the fact that he knew where Beasley was shows you how good he is.
2 tight ends on 3rd and 2. That pass too high for Torrey Holt at the sideline. They do not pick up the first down.
I love what Joe said. Things are going to pick up. The toughest thing these guys did all week long was get out of bed.
No.
I mean, come on. They went to practice. They caught a few balls, and it made it really look kind of easy.
I thought they worked hard.
Yeah, it's a Pro Bowl game.
Todd Sauerbrunn in his 3rd straight Pro Bowl. 2 of the last 3 years, he has led the league in average, and he is kicking to Dante Hall, who had 4 kick returns for touchdowns in 4 weeks. And a sky-high punt, fair catch made at the 9, 34-yard kick and no return. We've got a timeout on the field. Scoreless from Honolulu. Back in a moment. Sean Ellis, Kevin Mawai, and Zach Thomas watched the Super Bowl this year aboard the USS Paul Hamilton with the troops here in Hawaii. Good for them.
Made the opening kickoff tackle.
Yes, he did.
And the AFC is stuck in the sun for most of this game too. The NFC is now in the shade.
Steve McNair back to throw, first down.
Steve McNair.
And throws the bomb to a wide open Chad Johnson. Touchdown. 90 yards. What a way to start.
Yeah, you know what else? Did you see what Chad Johnson did? He just dropped the football in the end zone. What a classy act for a terrific young receiver. Oh, great little half watch, little play action. Now all of a sudden the defensive backs let him go. Dre Bly slips down, comes back. Now look at the speed of this young man. Watch him run. This kid here, this is his first trip, and this will definitely not be his last.
Chad Johnson says, I'm just like 7-Eleven. I'm always open.
I'll tell you what, he does one thing here for all young receivers. What he did is he went back, waited, made sure he caught the ball, and then he took off.
And that was the second longest pass play in Pro Bowl history. 90 yards. Lightning strikes fast in Honolulu. We'll be back to the AFC-NFC Pro Bowl after this.
ESPN's coverage of the AFC-NFC Pro Bowl, brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up but never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. Motorola, intelligence everywhere. Charles Schwab, there's never been a better time for Charles Schwab. And Snickers. Snickers handles the hunger of the NFL.
This is just paradise on earth. It's the most beautiful place you could ever hope to see, and we are just delighted to be back here to bring you this game. And the AFC gets a 90-yard touchdown pass from Steve McNair to Chad Johnson to break on top 7-0. Azuma from the 11. Beasley in front of him, and Azuma works his way out to the 32. Let's go to Susie.
Well, Mike, throughout the season, Chad Johnson got a lot of notoriety for your celebrations and subsequent fines. So explain your decision to play it cool here.
You know, I feel I have nothing else to prove. You know, let's just play football. So, you know, this is a good start for the day, and it's going to be like this all day.
If people knew you for the celebrations, what they don't know is the work ethic. Give us a little example of what this season was like for you.
Oh, man, you know, I stay at the stadium, you know, throughout the day and nights. On Wednesday and Thursdays, you know, I do whatever I can to get an edge. And that's basically how it goes.
Way to light it up on the first play. Give us a little synopsis of that play. Steve McNair, Chad Johnson. Take a look.
That was, you know, I went in, and it looked like Dre Bly thought I was running across the middle, and I just brought it on back out, and he had no help. And, you know, it's hard to do the impossible, and that's covering me, so it's going to be like that from here on out.
Congrats, Mike.
All right, thanks, Susie. Not a shrinking Violet, but it was great to see him just hand the ball to the official. And here's what it sounded like from Steve McNair on that touchdown throw.
Let's go, guys. Let's go, guys. Weak right. Let's go fake pass, stretch right. XB, Z-stalk. On one, ready?
McNair, as all 6 quarterbacks are wired, plus 6 other players. And Marcus Stroud makes the tackle on that last play, and it will be 4th down. The NFC will have to punt again.
They can't get anything going.
Well, when I talked to Brad Childress, the offensive coordinator of the Eagles, and of course is the offensive coordinator here in this game, and in studying their previous films, unfortunately the Eagles have had a chance to do it over a couple-year period. They found out that the teams that ran the ball seemed to be the ones that had the most success. Last year, they had 8 interceptions.
And that one is blocked by Ed Reed. He does that all the time. Reed, 10-5, touchdown.
Paul, you talked about special teams.
Well, thing about it is you got guys, first of all, that have not played it. The punter is the only guy that really is ever out there on the special team. They're not blocking. Beasley is the up back, and he let Reed just go right over top of him, and he blocks it. Not only blocks it, but he picks it up. Look at this. He goes over top of Beasley, gets the ball, and gets back to the outside. I mean, that was
just an unbelievable play. One-handed, and then to keep his head up and have the awareness to be able to go after the ball and find it.
Excuse me, it was Chavis was the guy who was the up back and not Beasley.
And Sauerbrunn never had a chance. Vanderjagt, who has not missed anything since December of 2002, gets the extra point. It's 14-0 AFC. 14-0 AFC. Joe, what happened on that last play?
Well, what is you're going to see Ed Reed lined up on the outside. Eventually, Ed Reed lines up on the outside, and what he's going to have a chance to do, Corey Chavis is number 21 on the end of the line of scrimmage. And as Ed Reed makes his move, you see Corey Chavis just keep giving ground instead of stopping him. He gets the one hand up and then gets the favorable bounce.
Reed blocked a lot in Miami, blocked a lot with the Baltimore Ravens. Now Azuma trying to get something started for the NFC and lost his footing and goes down near the 30. Ray Lewis was wired on that kick block.
To the window! To the wall!
And those two guys have a special relationship. Ed Reed spends as much time at Ray Lewis's house as Ray Lewis does watching film.
Brian Billick's got to be sitting home, the coach of the Ravens, saying, there's one of my guys getting it done.
Shaun Alexander is the running back, and he'll get to carry, and Alexander goes down at the 29. Let's go to Mort.
Mike, we talked to Andy Reid about this right before kickoff. No long snapper for this game. The Eagles coaching staff complained about it. They said Matt Burke would be the guy. As it turns out, Burke can't do it, so Mike Flanagan was. Todd?
Yeah, Mike Flanagan. You know, I just feel bad that that has to be put on him, or that pressure on him. It should never happen. You know, specialists are special for a reason. You know what I mean? And it's things like that just happen that cause these things to happen. You know, bad timing and whatnot. But you know, I haven't. This might be the first punt blocked ever in a Pro Bowl. I think I got that record too.
All right, Mike.
It's not what he wants.
Well, you know, it is a Pro Bowl. You know, it's a great line.
Let's go to Susie. She's with Ed Reed. Suze?
Well, Ed, we just heard Todd Sauerbrunn's side of the story. How did you see it?
I mean, I just saw the guy taking long. I didn't think I was going to get to it. But he had, like, he's messing with the ball or whatnot. And I studied this, you know. I know this to a T. And I know one thing about this. Not many guys play on special teams.
A first-timer here, but you gave up a lot of the luau's and the dinners, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I couldn't do a lot. I was just relaxing, seeing Hawaii and just really enjoying it.
Paying off now.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Mike.
All right, Suze, thanks. Shaun Alexander to the AFC 46-yard line.
What, you know, we haven't had a chance to talk about the AFC with this, but the NFC, they're trying to run the ball, which they can do. And the reason that they can do is because they can't do deals on a defensive line, and there's no blitzing by the linebackers. So what you basically have is you have linemen one-on-one on the guy in front of you. So all you have to do, if you beat him or stalemate him, it creates a huge hole in the defensive line.
You can't get down too far. Sooner or later, you're going to have to start throwing them.
Beasley back in at fullback in front of Shaun Alexander. He has made a habit of having huge games on Sunday Night Football. He came to practice and saw us and said, I feel better already. I may have 200 yards in this game.
Well, you know, you take a look at Shaun Alexander. You take a look at this guy now, 1,407 yards. But this, you know, this guy can get to a hole faster than most.
I think he's the foundation of why the Seattle Seahawks, first of all, made it to the playoffs against the Green Bay Packers this year, but you'll also see Matt Hasselbeck, their quarterback here. That could be one of those teams next year that has a real chance to go a lot further in the playoffs.
Stephen Davis is the new running back, first down at the 29 from the Carolina Panthers. And the veteran gets a carry and takes it inside the 25 to the 24. Davis was 7th in the NFL this year, a career high
1,444 yards rush.
Yeah, but look at the guys you got up front. You got Flozell Adams, who's at 360. You got Larry Allen. You got Marco Rivera. Orlando Pace is at 330. Matt Burke at center. I mean, you're talking about the best in their position. Yep. And you mentioned it, Paul, blocking one-on-one.
Yeah, that's all they have to do is they just really don't have to knock anyone out of the hole. All they have to do is contain.
They've already rushed for 66 yards in this first quarter. Culpepper play action under pressure and throws complete to Bubba Franks. And the third-year Pro Bowler taken out of bounds by Willie McGinnis.
Fucking Dwight Freeney fly. Wow. Watch Dwight Freeney come off the ball. Look at this. He gets off the ball so quick. Orlando Pace tries to get outside on him with a little play action fake. Stephen Davis, he just gives him a whisper going by.
Stephen Davis said, what was that? What was that?
Did anybody get that number going by them?
Flag down in the secondary. Usually to get around Orlando Pace, you have to spin twice.
Goal alignment. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Now what happens is the rules are a little bit different for the Pro Bowl than they are normally. The defensive backs cannot press, as an example, until the offense gets inside the 5-yard line. So that's one of the rules. They also cannot play what's considered a double zone. Safeties back, corners up. And that last play, the AFC committed a little infraction.
Sean Alexander back in. He'll get it on the delay. Takes it to the outside. Inside the 10-5 to the goal line. Touchdown.
Boy, you want to see some speed? I'm telling you, that is speed. He gets to the outside, and I believe, is that Al Wilson?
It was.
It's hard to see these numbers in here, but here he comes. Watch it, break to the outside. Now the speed. That is Al Wilson. Oh, man. Hey, he turns it on. When these guys, you see running backs, and when they see that goal line, Joe, those eyes are about as big as they're ever going to get.
Well, remember the other thing. He's not going to see a lot of Sean Alexander on film. So when you prepare for a week, you study him and you get a sense of his speed. Out here in a game like this, in an all-star game, you don't really get that same speed sensation.
And Al Wilson can run, too. Jeff Wilkins, who had a brilliant year with St. Louis, converts, and it's 14-7. The AFC has had one offensive play. They have 14 points. The AFC with a 14-7 lead over the NFC halfway through the first quarter, and you can play an active role in today's Pro Bowl by helping pick the game's most valuable player. Log on to ESPN.com or NFL.com. Cast your vote. The online results will contribute to the overall tabulation of today's most valuable player.
In the AFC, they have a little bit of an advantage on the kickoff return because they have 4 Kansas City Chiefs on this kickoff return team.
Dante Hall is the deep man. He waits at the 2. Wilkins kicking off. He gets a good one. Hall a yard deep. And Anquan Bolden trailed him and made the tackle. Dante Culpepper was wired. Here's what he did the last series.
Red right, Fox 2 run. On one, ready? Run. Yeah. Green right snug. 94 solid go. Someone ready? Let's go. Let's turn it up now. Green right snug. Fox 2 run. On one, ready?
You see how short the calls are. Green right, Fox 2 run, snug. What the coaches try and do, and this would be Andy Reid and the NFC and Brad Childress, their offensive coordinator, is just give them something they can pick up, run about 12, 15 passes, about 7 runs, and let the guys master it through the course of a week.
Jamal Lewis, play action fake. McNair again going deep. This one for Harrison. Contact with Champ Bailey, no flag.
Incidental contact. And both guys are looking at the ball, and they just get their feet tied up. Champ Bailey didn't do it on purpose. Marvin Harrison is downfield, and it looks like he's going to be able to run to the ball. Here's the ball is laid out. He just runs straight. Now look at right at the thing. They're both looking up in the air at the ball. Champ Bailey did not do that intentionally. Maybe.
I love to watch Pro Bowl corners run with Pro Bowl receivers. Champ Bailey is just so smooth when he makes his turn and starts to take off. Well, both passes from the AFC have been bombs by McNair.
Derek Mason and Hines Ward come in at wide receiver spots for McNair. Draw play to Jamal Lewis. Shakes
one tackle, gets up to the 22, brought down by LeVar Arrington of the Redskins. We got to see Jamal Lewis at the end of the year as he went for the single season record, but in the last 3, Jamal Lewis has rushed for 4,757 yards. He is 3rd all time in that span behind Eric Dickerson and Earl Campbell. Dickerson, of course, had the single season record that he was chasing. And now the other number 31, Priest Holmes from the Kansas City Chiefs, is in. McNair throwing underneath. That one incomplete. Bailey knocked it away from Harrison. And that's the difference in this year's game, is players used to get their own numbers if they had the most seniority in the Pro Bowl. Now they wear the numbers they wear during the regular season, so we'll see a lot of multiples.
I think it's great. Well, you've got 31s out. You got Brock Marion, number 31 from Miami. You got 31 Priest Holmes. You got Jamal Lewis, 31. You got Roy Williams, 31. So, Mike, good luck.
Thanks very much.
31s.
I was going to wear 31.
But it was already taken by 4 guys.
Anquan Bolden will go back to await the kick from Craig Hendrick, who had a great year for Tennessee. Booms this one. Drives Bolden all the way back to the 22-yard line. Takeo Spikes waiting for him, wouldn't let him go, and Gary Stills made the tackle. Return of 9 after a punt of 55. First quarter action from the Pro Bowl. It's a 7-point game. (14-7) AFC over the NFC. In 2002, NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue created the Art McNally Award to honor each year the NFL game official with at least 15 years of experience who exhibits exemplary professionalism, leadership, and commitment to sportsmanship on and off the field. This year's Art McNally Award winner is Ben Montgomery. Ben officiated 2 Super Bowls over his illustrious 22-year NFL career.
Congratulations.
Sean Alexander, the running back. A nice hole off the left side again out to the 38. Let's check in with Susie.
Well, it's been a long time coming for Steve McNair, a first-time Pro Bowl selection. What has this week been like?
I tell you, it's been amazing. It's been a whirlwind for me, especially coming in with these great guys. And they have a lot of talent here. I wish I could keep them and take them back to Nashville with me, but overall, it's been fun for me and my family.
Now, when you go back to Nashville, you have to face maybe a new offense. Frank Wycheck retires. We're not sure. Salary cap. Eddie George. What do you think the offense is going to look like this year?
Well, I think, right now it's a lot of puzzle minds in the front office right now. So, what we're going to do with Eddie and Frank Wycheck retiring, and hopefully we can get some stuff started, during this offseason to improve and to get better. Each year it's going to be a change for us, and this year it's going to hit us very hard, and hopefully we can bounce from it.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Dante Culpepper with a 49-yard strike to Torrey Holt, who led the league in catches and yards.
Well, I'll tell you what, he sees this move right here, and he knows Torrey Holt's out in front. And I'll tell you what, this ball on Patrick Surtain, this ball was perfectly thrown.
It's amazing when you watch these receivers in the Pro Bowl, their ability to adjust to the football. We saw Chad Johnson do it on the first touchdown and slow down. There you saw Torrey Holt able to run, and I'm always amazed, and I learned this from Jerry Rice. Receivers that are really great can run with their heads still so that they can focus on the ball and the ball's not bouncing. There you saw a case of Torrey Holt do it.
Ball start, number 76, offense, 5-yard penalty. Still, first down.
Movement up front, and that will cost the offense. Torrey Holt, in his first 80 games, has racked up 6,784 yards. Only Lance Allworth ever had more over that span, and it's ahead of Randy Moss and Jerry Rice. You get ahead of Randy Moss and Jerry Rice on any list, you're doing just fine.
And I thought this was his breakout year. He was just sensational this year.
Alexander inside the 15 to about the 12. Dwight Freeney made a saving tackle around the ankles.
Joe was talking about their heads don't move at practice. We were out watching them at practice. Now, this is the Pro Bowl game, and these guys are out there, and they're not clowning around. They're going through the motions. I can't remember one ball hitting the ground.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is amazing. When they're out here and you watch them, there is a reason they're the best in the business. They're at the Pro Bowl. But when they go out to work, it's not like it's a vacation for them over here. They're still working on that hour that they spend on the field.
Sean Alexander, 50 yards on 5 carries. This time he did not have a chance at all. Adewale Ogunleye comes in from his left defensive end position and just buried him.
I would tell you, Sean Alexander took a look and he went, whoa, that's all white, man. I can't go there. Watch Sean Alexander stop. Here he comes. Ogunleye comes in. Whoa. Get out of here. There's only 2 93s on the field.
No, there's 3. You had every 93. Ogunleye, Seymour, and Freeney.
And they were all there.
Who made the tackle?
93. Well, when you think of Ogunleye and you got Jason Taylor down there in Miami, Jason Taylor's got to be sitting. You know, I spent a lot of time in the All-Star game, in the Pro Bowl, and I'm not there this year. And Adewale Ogunleye is. And I think this is going to be an inspiration to Jason Taylor to say, you know, I want to go back.
3rd and 14. Stephen Davis checks in behind Culpepper. Dante scrambles inside the 10 to about the 9, well shy of a first down.
I tell you, you know what you really get a chance to see is Ogunleye, when you see guys that show their speed. He's over here on the right-hand side. Look how quick he is. Back up, then back inside. But watch these guys. This is a Pro Bowl game. They don't slow down. When they get a chance to go one-on-one, this is gravy for everybody.
Jeff Wilkins to try a 28-yard field goal. He tied Olindo Mate's single-season mark of 39 converted field goals this year.
Great rush.
Knocks this one through.
Great rush.
Yeah.
Every one of the AFC defensive linemen lined up. The ball was snapped. They all stood up and turned around to see if the ball was going to go through the uprights. It was beautiful.
Let's check in with Morty. Has Donovan McNabb.
Donovan, you were selected to the game. You had the rib injury in the NFC title game. What hurt most, the rib or watching the Super Bowl this year?
Well, I've been doing it for the last 3 years now, so obviously the Super Bowl ranks up there. You know, I've been injured before, so it's not a first. But, I mean, again, you know, it's just you live and you learn. You take the good and just kind of add it in going into the next year and use the bad for motivation.
We see you and Terrell Owens hanging out on the sidelines. We saw you hanging out around the pool. Any chance to recruit him? What would your recommendation be to Andy Reid?
Well, again, let's first say that I love the guys that we have, very comfortable with the guys. It would be a good thing for us if we would decide to pick up Terrell Owens. But, you know, it's nothing that I'm trying to just, you know, overwhelm him with or try to put any pressure on him. We're just out here having fun.
But have you spoken to Andy about Terrell?
No comment. No, we haven't.
That means yes, he has.
No, we haven't.
All right, Mike.
All right, thanks, Mort. And Andy Reid said we would certainly have to come to an understanding before we thought about bringing T.O. to the Philadelphia Eagles about his behavior.
And I don't think that would be a problem. I mean, there's lots of guys that have blown up on the sidelines and thrown tantrums, and it seems like T.O.'s the one that's got that thing hung around his neck. I tell you, I wouldn't mind playing with him.
Well, he's got it hung around his neck because he keeps doing it.
No, he doesn't.
Move down by you again. Here we go.
It's not a question to keep doing it. He's done it on a couple of occasions, and I think there's a greater upside than there is a downside with Terrell Owens.
Couple, huh?
You think Joe's been in the sun too much out here at Waikiki?
I tell you, I talked to him for a long time in the
He does it a couple of times a game.
Nah, don't buy it, guys.
Wilkins to kick to Dante Hall. From the 6, can't handle it. Spins off a one tackler, but only makes it back to the 14.
Before the ball game, I had a chance to talk to Terrell Owens, and I said, where would you like to be? And he said, right here. Well, the Eagles are the coaching staff for the NFC, and I really believe that he wants to be a Philadelphia Eagle, but he hasn't ruled out some other places. You know, places like the New York Jets, he feels like is a place that, you know, he could get along. Herm Edwards would be one. I think there are different football teams in this league that need his physical presence as a receiver. The most obvious we talk about is the Eagles, because we saw what Carolina did to their receivers in the NFC Championship game. But I still think that it's not a problem for him to come in and be a good team player.
Peyton Manning in for the first time, throws incomplete. That ball may have been tipped.
I think Bill Parcells ought to get a shot at it. Yeah, let's give him the Billy Boy for a little while.
He'd love to have him.
Oh, I bet he would.
We had Keyshawn.
Peyton Manning, the co-MVP of the NFL, and you can never forget some of the games he had this year. 6 touchdown passes against New England, or against New Orleans in his hometown. The comeback against Tampa Bay, he just had a brilliant season.
Second down, and Priest Holmes off the right side. Dexter Coakley made the tackle at the 17. In week 5 at Tampa Bay, Peyton and the Colts staged one of the most improbable comebacks in NFL history. Indianapolis trailing 35-14 with less than 4 minutes to go. Manning rallied the Colts, 24 unanswered points. Then they won the game in overtime, 38-35 on a Vanderjagt field goal. Manning threw for 386 yards in that ball game, and I'll never forget starting to turn off the television set, saying this isn't going to happen. And then I thought, oh, what the heck, I'll watch for a couple of minutes.
And I believe that was the game that sort of took away the swagger of the world champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They really felt like they could just line up and go.
Manning to Derek Mason. All the way to the 10-yard line.
I'm going to tell you something. Derek Mason put a move on Troy Vincent and froze him. And I mean, he froze him. This ball was thrown deep the entire way. Mason comes down. He puts a little juke, and he was gone.
What happens, these corners tend to look at the quarterbacks. They want to see what's going to happen. Peyton Manning does also a nice job of doing a little pump fake.
Here it comes.
Here's the pump fake. Whoop. Now it's released and gone.
I mean, there's Troy Vincent standing there, and Mason's gone. I mean, that move that he made on him, right there, it's over.
71 yards. First and 10, they'll mark it at the 11. Clinton Portis inside the 10. And Portis walked into a little controversy this week when he said he wanted a big raise or he wasn't going to come to training camp, then retracted that statement and said he never said it.
It's February, you know. Guys say a lot of things in February.
I didn't mean it.
Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator in this game, and of course of the Indianapolis Colts, I was talking to him during the course of the week, and I said, what do you want to do? He said, what do I always do? Throw deep. Well, we've seen 3 of them so far. 2 have been for very big plays.
Well, they're averaging on their completions 80.5 yards a catch. That's deep.
2 for 5.
Manning straight back to throw, intended for Mason. The ball got there before he had his head turned.
I'll tell you, Mason was not looking. He was not looking, and, you know, I think if you take a look at the shadow, he's looking right directly into that sun, and it's very hard to see that thing.
Plus, Peyton gets it out of his hands so quickly. This is, talking to Peyton Manning, it's really funny. This is an offense that he masterfully runs through the course of the year. All kinds of checks, all kinds of audibles. He comes into this game, there are 6 runs and 15 passes.
Manning straight back, looking, throws end zone, incomplete. Tony Gonzalez had it and couldn't hold it.
Dre Bly comes in and makes a nice play. Tony Gonzalez, number 88, on the left-hand side of your screen. Manning sets, throws, he's open in the end zone, reaches back. Dre Bly does a nice job of closing on the ball. That's the thing about these corners. They just close so quickly. Of course, Peyton not real comfortable with Tony, throws it outside, and Dre just rips it away.
Mike Vanderjagt, who has made 37 field goals in a row this year, 41 straight over the last 1+ seasons, both NFL records, knocks this one through from 27, and this has been a scoring fest so far. Big Monday tomorrow night on ESPN. Number 7, or at 7 Eastern, excuse me, Ben Gordon and Emeka Okafor lead number 5 Connecticut against Chris Thomas and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Then at 9 Eastern, a Big 12 clash. Wayne Simeon and number 17 Kansas against Oklahoma State, the 13th ranked team in the nation. This game also available on ESPN HD. It's Big Monday on ESPN. Another sellout crowd here in Honolulu.
You guys are talking about Peyton Manning. There's another one coming out, boys.
Eli?
Eli's coming.
I saw Archie there down. I said, what are you going to name the bank? Manning National or what?
Eli's a-coming. I'm telling you right now. Eli is a very, very good quarterback.
A couple of good young quarterbacks coming out of college this year. Roethlisberger going to be a pretty good one, I think. Eli. There's 2 good ones right there. Steve McNair. Trent Green will get his chance a little bit later.
Wonder how long it took Donovan to get that hat on.
Hey, I think he copied the hairdo from Hugh Douglas.
Could be.
Hugh had the big fro.
Jerry Azuma is deep.
Do you put it on? Do you step into it and pull it up over your waist, or do you put it on over your head? I don't know.
Lavernius Coles is back with Azuma to receive the kick. Azuma from the 6. Has some room on the outside across the 30 to 31. Peyton Manning wired in that last series. Let's listen.
Try the gun, right? You all right? No? Dice right, scat right. Z takeoff, Maui, on 1, ready? Corner, trail. Red! Hit!
You see, what you do is when you're here on the islands of Hawaii, what you want to do is, at least when you're calling plays, throw in one of the islands. Like, you know, you call a play and you say Maui. I mean, that's where Peyton's going. That had nothing to do with the play call.
I'm waiting on Molokai.
Coming
That's
up.
my favorite. That's the end of the first quarter, and the AFC in a scoring fest leads the NFC 17-10.
Aloha, Dante! Oh. You can't outrun the pain train, baby! Ah!
Terry Tate, the office linebacker, keeping everybody in shape out here in Honolulu.
I'll tell you, that's a funny man, and he is big.
You know the last 2 quarters of football that we've had a chance to see, the 4th quarter in the Super Bowl and the 1st quarter here in the Pro Bowl, 64 points have been scored. Just thought I'd throw that out for anybody who's keeping track, Paul.
And he didn't have to take his shoes off the count.
I know. Okay. I've been relaxed for a while.
Matt Hasselbeck will get his shot at quarterback starting from the 31-yard line. And they'll kill the play. Looked like one of the interior linemen moved early.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 62 of the offense. 5-yard penalty still. First down.
Marco Rivera got an early start, the Green Bay guard. Matt Hasselbeck just had a tremendous record. Seahawks franchise mark of 3,841 yards passing, 26 touchdowns this year. And was excited about his brother Tim's success in Washington as he was his own this year.
Yeah, he was. We had another first. We had Tim's first game.
That we did, and he played very well.
Yeah, he did.
Fake the end around. Hasselbeck dumps this one off, and Ray Lewis makes the tackle as Stephen Davis took it at the 35. You think Ray cares whether it's an all-star game or not?
Well, you talk about Ray Lewis. Now, these guys are all friends, but not now. Not during this 60 minutes. Here it is, a little dump, and watch this shot. Bang! Oops. Don't come in here. And you know exactly what he's saying. Don't come in here.
Stephen Davis is going, didn't I go through this a week ago?
Hasselbeck under pressure and caught from behind by, it's Casey Hampton from the Steelers.
Well, and what a terrific job Casey Hampton has done, not just in this game, but all year long. Remember, he plays nose tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers. People think that that position is just one where somebody's going to take up space and allow the interior linebackers to make plays. Casey Hampton is not that kind of guy. He went right through Marco Rivera. Now, Rivera's not a small guy in his own right. And boy, did he have a terrific season. Dedicated himself to get quicker, faster, and stronger.
Derek Mason is going to have to do kick return duties because Dante Hall is in the locker room with bruised ribs. Backs all the way to the 10. And Peterson downfield with that great speed holds him to a loss of 1 after a punt of 54. Back to Honolulu in a moment.
ESPN's coverage of the AFC-NFC Pro Bowl, brought to you by TD Waterhouse, the alternative to higher-priced brokers like Merrill and Schwab. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you. Michelob Ultra, lose the carbs, not the taste. And the document company, Xerox. There's a new way to look at it.
Just to recap the first quarter with you from beautiful Hawaii. We had the first punt block for a touchdown in the history of the Pro Bowl and 2 of the longest passes in the history of the Pro Bowl, and that's just in 1 quarter.
And there's a chance that the AFC might just throw deep again.
Peyton Manning takes over at the 10. And Manning to throw. And it's incomplete. And Roy Williams levels Todd Heap. Ouch.
Well, you think, this is a game of a lot of fun. But then you bring these young guys in like Roy Williams, who believes that, well, if you're going to hang yourself out here, I'm going to hang you up. Bam! I mean, that ball goes through, and Roy Williams is clean. Bang, look at that. He hit his helmet right into his shoulder pads, and Todd Heap goes down.
And that's Dexter Coakley in coverage, and we all know how fast Dexter Coakley is.
Todd Heap says, let's not call that one again, all right? Draw play, Jamal Lewis never had a chance. Hit inside the 5 and dragged down by Strahan. Let's go to Susie.
Well, Mike, last week, John Elway was selected to the Hall of Fame. The guys talk about what it's like to show up here as the Super Bowl champ. What's it like to show up here knowing you're going into the Hall of Fame?
It's different. It's hard to believe that I've been out for 5 years, but, it's a great honor to come up here. And I remember so many times playing here and watching my heroes walk through there that it's a little bit different having me walk through it.
You were selected to 9 Pro Bowls. I know it's limited offense for you guys, but what play made your eyes light up?
Anytime you had a chance to make a big play, and I think that, anytime with the receivers that we always play with in this game, you get a chance. Anytime you can get it, send them on a go route, you want to send them on a go route.
John, thanks. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Peyton Manning chased out of the pocket, barely avoided a sack, and then throws it incomplete. John Elway, selected to the Hall of Fame, set an NFL record. He had 148 wins as a starting quarterback, and his 300 touchdown passes rank 4th all-time in NFL annals. And he completed his career by leading the Broncos to 2 Super Bowls. What a way to go out.
I was always amazed at John's ability not just to be able to throw the football from the pocket with a rocket arm, but to be able to, like we saw in that highlight, just flick his wrist and then also run with the football.
Okay.
Kendrick gets a nice bounce on that, goes all the way to the 45-yard line, and Anquan Bolden, who was back to receive it, can't get up to it. The kick 49 yards. Good starting spot for the NFC. Second quarter at 17-10 AFC over the NFC. The day after learning that his father had passed away, Brett Favre led the Packers to a 41-7 romp over the Raiders on Monday Night Football in Week 16. He threw for 399 yards, 4 touchdowns, both season highs. And if the level of admiration of the American football public couldn't go any higher before, it did for that courageous performance by Brett Favre, who was selected to the Pro Bowl and passed on it this year. Stephen Davis breaks a tackle across midfield down near the AFC 40-yard line. Brett Favre played hurt all year with that broken thumb, and he went home to Mississippi to let that heal. And we just, we're in that group. We hope Brett Favre keeps playing forever.
And the other thing is Matt Hasselbeck has taken his place here in the Pro Bowl. Of course, Mike Holmgren had Brett Favre for so many years in Green Bay. Now he has Matt Hasselbeck in Seattle. And I really think Matt Hasselbeck has a terrific upside. When he joined Seattle, when Mike Holmgren made the deal for him, he wasn't quite the quarterback that Mike had thought, but he sure had developed this year. And look at him throw the football.
Hasselbeck to Bubba Franks. He has it at the 21, scooped it right off the grass.
I'll tell you, Hasselbeck throws his ball just out a little bit further, and Franks has got maybe have a touchdown. Bubba Franks, these are the things when he plays with Favre up in Green Bay. Bubba knows that ball's coming just a little bit quicker. Now here comes the ball out now. But watch him go down to get the ball off the ground. Make sure you have the catch, then get back up.
I had a chance to talk to Bubba Franks about Brett Favre throwing the football. I said, did he have a thumb problem? He said, no. He said, people were wrong. He said, the guy still throws it just as hard as ever.
Amon Green down to the 20. All of his receivers had thumb problems because it was hard as he threw
Finger problems.
Let's go to Morton.
First-year safety, Roy Williams, first-year-time Pro Bowl. Roy, were you trying to prove that it's a real football game with that hit on Todd Heap?
No, actually, man, I let up.
You let up?
I let up, actually, man. I waited for him to come to me, then I hit him. But, I mean, it's a football game. That's what we get paid to do, is have fun and hit people.
All right, Mike.
I don't know that he let up much on that one.
I think he did. I think that was like a 50%er shot.
Todd Heap doesn't want to see the 100%er. Hassel back to the sideline, incomplete, intended for Keenan McCardell.
Chris McAllister with a real nice hit on the sidelines. Of course, I had a chance to play golf with both Keenan McCardell and Chris McAllister. Keenan's got a little better game than Chris. Chris is working on his, and Keenan's is pretty polished. I played with you too, Paul. Don't look at me that way.
And
I lost to you just to set the record straight.
I just want to let everybody know in the world that I beat Joe Theismann out of his lunch money.
Hey, so did I.
Well, you should.
So did you. So did you.
Each of you are getting a shot a hole, for goodness sakes. I got to defend myself a little.
Well, we're not saying we have quite the game, but it's the end result that matters, isn't it? Hasselback. Knocked away by Bullock. Nice play as he was trailing Bubba Franks.
You know what? You love to watch Pro Bowl games, you know, because all of the really fast linebackers, I think, are all here. They really are. And you look at what Keith Bullock does here. Look at this. Eye on the ball, up in the air, knocks the ball down. Bubba Franks has no chance. Hasselbeck said, no, that's my fault. I should have thrown it higher and further.
Now, you made a great point earlier, Paul. That is directly into the sun where he threw the ball. Just the fact that Bullock could get his hands up and find it was an accomplishment.
Wilkins, who was already hit from 28, will try from 38.
There's that pass rush, or that rush again.
The NFC takes advantage of good field position back to the Pro Bowl after this. The AFC's lead is now 17-13. As a special feature of today's game, you can help choose the play to be run by the offenses of both the NFC and AFC squads. Log on to NFL.com. Vote for a play you'd like to see used in the game. Later, that winning play will be communicated to the offensive coordinators, and they will run it in the fourth quarter. And if you pick the wrong play, you'll all be fired. That's the way it works in the NFL.
If the play doesn't work, we will all come to your house.
That's right. Derek Mason deep to return for the AFC as the lead has been cut to 4.
The ball fell down. No, I got a better idea.
You know,
we'll send tape.
Hey,
you guys doing all these commercials?
Paul, what do you think of an onside kick? Huh?
Can't do it.
I know, but what do you think anyway?
Mike Martz was here. He might try it.
Of course, the Rams, everybody thought that was going to be one of those teams. There might be the Eagles and the Rams battling it out in the championship. Well, what a great job the Carolina Panthers did all year long. What a terrific Super Bowl they played.
Mason at the goal line. Weaving his way across the 20. Takes it out of bounds to the 27. Let's go back to that last NFC defensive series. Troy Vincent wired for the Pro Bowl.
I jumped the slant. Nice, nice. Nice move on that double move. That's nice, man.
When a guy does it, he'll turn around and tell him, nice move. Troy Vincent, one of many unrestricted free agents in this Pro Bowl game. So some guys may be wearing different helmets in the future.
Clinton Portis trying to get outside Cant, and Arrington is waiting for him as he cuts back.
This is that play that Peyton Manning was telling us about, running with Edgerrin James. It's that stretch play. And he said, sometimes I feel like I'm going to pull a muscle trying to get out there. But what Edgerrin does different than Portis, because I don't think Denver runs it this way, is that Portis was waiting too long. Once you stretch, you get the ball in your hands. Now you've got to get upfield in a hurry. You can't stretch it all the way across the field.
And Manning, as a quarterback, knows what this stretch play is like, so he knows it. I'm curious to see how Steve McNair does and Trent Green when it happens.
2nd and 9, Portis straight up the middle. And Kamir Bajabia-Milla, who was a last-minute replacement for Simeon Rice, makes the tackle. And Portis off to a brilliant start in his career. 1,500 yards rushing in each of his first 2 seasons. Only Edgerrin James of the Colts and Eric Dickerson of the Rams were able to do that to begin their careers in the NFL.
Oh, does he want more money or doesn't he?
I'm sure he does. He's scheduled to make $380,000, and that's not enough for a 1,500-yard back-to-back running back. Manning pulls it back. Plenty of time. Deep down the middle. Underthrown, intended for Harrison.
Oh, Champ Bailey had a shot at it. Champ just waited.
Well,
Peyton came to him a little bit late. Of course, how many times have we seen Peyton Manning throw this pass to Marvin Harrison? What happens is Champ Bailey is just hanging back. He's looking all the way in at Peyton Manning. Now he makes the break on the ball. Here comes Roy Williams. He's gonna knock Marvin down. And
well, Roy Williams, he's not looking at the ball. His job is to get Marvin.
Oh, that's
if Marvin catches it, he's going to kill him.
Champ had a real legitimate shot at that one.
Peyton is only 1 out of 7 so far, but the one was 71 yards. Tony Richardson with a rare carry across the 45 to the 46. Richardson, the fullback from the Kansas City Chiefs, who sent 9 players over here.
You know, when you look at it, Michael, at fullbacks, and we talked about this all year long, it was very, very hard to find a fullback, a legitimate fullback in the National Football League.
But it's hard to pick the best one. I mean, Fred Beasley on the other side did a terrific job in San Francisco. And, of course, Priest Holmes just thinks the world of Tony Richardson and the job that he did blocking for him.
Third down, about 3, movement up front.
Oh, Peyton, you stinker, you. He went hard count. When everybody's just trying to get their hands off the ground.
Well, he needs 4 yards, so he had to do it.
Encroachment, number 77 of the defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's Chris Jenkins from the Panthers.
You know, you really do. When Manning probably does that as well as anyone in the National Football League. You look over there, Joe, and you see, well, I get second and 4.
Yeah, third and 4. Why not?
Third and 4. I get them offside. I got first and 10.
I get a chance to throw another bomb.
He's got Harrison in the ball game along with Hines Ward at wide receivers. Gonzalez, the tight end, in the slot, and Priest Holmes back in there at running back. Manning rifles this one for a heat, and he's hit by Aeneas Williams.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you. Oh, Todd, baby, get out of there, Todd.
Todd's going, wait a second.
I'm telling you, Aeneas Williams could have killed him. I'm telling you, number 35, Aeneas Williams could have killed him. And you don't think that Todd Heap knows he's coming? Watch this throw. Watch his head. Right here. Well, get out. I mean, Aeneas right there really could have hammered him, and he didn't.
Todd Heap's going, wait a minute. When did I get the helmet with the bullseye on? 8 times in the Pro Bowl has come as a corner. Now he comes as a safety.
2nd and 10. Priest Holmes runs into a wall and is pushed back shy of the 50-yard line. Priest Holmes set an NFL record this year, 27 rushing touchdowns, and that broke Emmitt Smith's record set in 1995. Just an incredible performance. 27 rushing touchdowns. Every time you turned around, the guy was hurtling over the goal line.
Well, it wasn't one. It was like, okay, 3 in this game, 3 in that game. I mean, the 100-yard games, just an incredible performance by an incredible player.
Where did he come from? Baltimore.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, Jamal Lewis is the other one. I mean, you basically have both Baltimore running backs in this game.
Manning under pressure. Throwing deep. Harrison. Touchdown.
You know what? He wasn't going there. He really wasn't going there until he turned and he saw Marvin in a sprint. He just let it fly.
But he's really glad he did.
Oh, yeah, he is glad. But at first he was not going there, and then he saw Marvin make the break through the defense, and once he did, I don't know if anybody's going to catch him anyway.
That time he caught Champ Bailey peeking a little bit. Peyton's looking. Now he hangs it up, and Marvin does an excellent job of getting on top of Champ, who couldn't find the last one, and Aeneas can't quite get over to help him out. Now remember, the safeties have to stay inside the hash marks. They can't cheat outside at all.
Vanderjagt for the point after a 50-yard touchdown strike to Marvin Harrison. Peyton Manning threw 29 touchdown passes this year, and Marvin Harrison caught 10 of them. Welcome back to Honolulu. The last series, Peyton Manning wired for that touchdown pass.
Little gun here. Little gun here.
Yeah, I'm good.
Dice left, scat right. X takeoff, Maui on 1. Ah! Good job, brother. There you go. There you go.
Doesn't celebrate much, does he?
No, you're not done working yet.
Class act.
You'd get tired celebrating as many as he's thrown.
Jerry Azuma on the return across the 20, 30.
Look out.
Got great speed. And Hines Ward will make the tackle up at the 45. Let's go to Susie.
Well, a familiar duo, Marvin Harrison, Peyton Manning. Marvin, what's the comfort level of having your own quarterback in your own system?
It's a tremendous comfort level. Thinking of the first pass that threw to me during the game, the cornerback squatted on the play, and I had to run the route. But if Peyton was in there, I'd have just ran deep, knowing that he was squatting, and then we would have just hooked up and had 6 early on.
Give us the play-by-play of the touchdown.
Well, like I said, it was kind of based off that first play that Steve threw to Marvin. Champ Bailey squatted. That's why he's one of the better corners in the league, because he is so aggressive. Sometimes that can cost you in a Pro Bowl. So it was 3rd and 8. Most teams try to run just a first down, play at 8 yards. Marvin ran 8 yards, kind of stuttered, went right by him for the touchdown.
What do you think is going to happen just in terms of everyone's talking about you and contract talks, and this week your agent talked with the Colts, maybe just a little rocky start to talks? I mean, what are you wishing for?
Going arena. I tell you, Susie, it's been a great 6 years being able just to answer questions about football and about guys like Marvin Harrison. And obviously, I understand it being a pertinent question that I am up for contract. But I guess in my first 6 years, it served me well never to make a public comment on my contract, so I'm going to keep it that way. So basically what I'm giving you is a long-winded answer to say I have no comment on my contract.
Well, if we had to get a wide receiver who's caught a lot of touchdown passes from you, what would you make happen?
He's got to come back. If I got to take a pay cut, he's got to come back. So he's definitely going to be in Indy next year, hopefully. So I got to speak for him.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, thanks.
Now, when your star receiver is saying he's willing to take a pay cut, that's pretty good.
Well, your star receiver is going to be a free agent next year. I'll go out on a limb and say that Peyton Manning will be the highest paid quarterback in the history of professional football for quite a while, probably.
Hasselbeck trying to throw. This one's incomplete. Let's go to Mort for more on Peyton Manning.
In fact, as Susie pointed out, Tom Condon, the representative of Peyton Manning, did have his first face-to-face meeting with Bill Polian, the president of the Colts. In fact, Condon presented 3 different options on contracts, all of which were rejected initially by Polian. One of the things that did happen in those discussions is that Polian said, if we don't get him signed and he takes up $18 million with a franchise tag, a lot of players could get cut. One of those names on that list was Edgerrin James. Of course, it's just rhetoric now.
Well, you know, Mort, I have a feeling those 3 options were 150, 175, or $200 million. Take whichever one you like.
I think the biggest thing's going to be the signing bonus. I mean, obviously, I think that's got to be the biggest thing that Bill Polian has to look at. As a matter of fact, when you think of the free agents here, let's go back to Terrell Owens. The numbers floating around for Terrell Owens is $20 million as a signing bonus for a wide receiver.
And that's not going to happen.
I mean, you know, and you've got Troy Vincent in this game as well.
That guy, Peyton Manning, is going to be at Indianapolis. I don't care what anybody says about what kind of money.
I agree
He's
with
there. Period. Now you're working around whatever else you have to do.
Hasselbeck pump fake down the middle for Bubba Franks and overthrown by a stride.
You know, we're looking again. It really looked like Bubba Franks never saw the ball. And they are throwing that ball out to the right where the sun is. And it is directly in their eyes.
Bubba Franks here, of course, because Jeremy Shockey had to withdraw from the game. The Giants tight end.
Take a look on the right-hand side of the screen, and you're going to see Bubba Franks. It really looks like he doesn't even see the ball. Here he goes down like this. You see the ball out in front? It's hard for them to see. And here comes one of the more exciting plays in all of pro football, when the field goal and you can't rush it.
The Pro Bowl.
The Pro Bowl.
But this is a 50-yarder for Jeff Wilkins. And short.
Jeff.
Wilkins, who hit from 28 and 38, has now missed from 50. Just another lousy day in paradise.
What's the temperature, Mike?
82, but the wind chill's 81.
Okay.
For all of our friends
always
in the
82.
Northeast.
Wind out of the northeast at about, what?
12 to 15.
12 to 15.
If I were the weatherman here, I'd like tape it like a month at a time. 82, 76.
Partly cloudy.
And a little chance of rain, a little Chance of rain.
Make it some precipitation on one of the other islands.
The AFC has only 3 completions in this game. 90 yards, 71 yards, and 50 yards. Not bad. There's the 4th. Jamal Lewis underneath into NFC territory.
Peyton Manning was going deep. You know, he looked, and I'll say, all right, Jamal, we'll give you one.
Well, I think
You're
that's
not running it. We're going to give you one.
That's the advantage of having your coaching staff here. Of course, Peyton Manning and Indianapolis Colt, Tony Dungy and his entire staff here. Tom Moore's the offensive coordinator. So Peyton knows exactly where he has to look and what he wants to do from a comfort level throwing the football. Oh, he's directing traffic.
Lewis, a couple. Urlacher, the first man there in a big NFC pile.
Played golf with him yesterday.
Did he beat you too?
Can I ask you a question? Can I just ask you a question? What did you have, a 12-some?
You're really setting yourself up. Jamal went over the 2,000-yard mark. Only Eric Dickerson has ever had a better year running the football. And he is just the perfect combination of size and speed.
And he plays in the perfect offense that emphasizes the run as much as Baltimore does.
Manning goes to the shotgun. Fakes the draw, then throws underneath to Mason. And Troy Vincent will wrap him up.
Derek Mason's one of those guys. I mean, you look at Bennett and McCarron's and the different receivers that really came on in Tennessee this year. Derek Mason, I thought, was the glue that held it together. At one point, he was one of the youngest guys. Then all of a sudden, he comes back and really, I thought, was a real stabilizing force for the wide receiving corps and gave Steve McNair a nice comfort level to work with.
Well, the Titans felt it was the most productive season of his career.
That wide receiving corps is going to be special coming up.
Lewis, a little stutter step, and then goes inside the 30-yard line. Derek Mason set career highs this year, 95 catches, 1,303 yards to earn his second trip to the Pro Bowl. Had a season high 177 receiving and 3 touchdowns in Week 6 against Houston. He has had 3 straight 1,000 receiving yards.
Each year got better and better as far as his receptions go.
Manning steps up, throws to Mason.
That's first down.
Down to the 22.
Coming up on 2 minutes. And it just looks like the AFC is just whatever they want to do. I mean,
well, now wait a second, Paul. You can't press the wide receivers. I mean, so the guys have to play 5 yards off on both sides. So, I mean, yeah, they can do whatever they want to do.
Let me start all over again. Will you shut up? The AFC seems to do whatever they want to do, and the NFC can't do what they want to do. So now you want to jump in?
We'll jump in when we come back. We're at the 2-minute warning from the Pro Bowl. Coming up shortly, the Toyota halftime show. Chris Berman and Michael Irvin will have first half analysis from the Pro Bowl and a celebration of the 25th anniversary of the Pro Bowl here at Aloha Stadium in Hawaii. Coming up on the Toyota halftime show.
It can't go anywhere else.
We hope
it has to stay here.
Absolutely. Part of that offensive line of the AFC is Willie Anderson. He's the first offensive lineman to go to the Pro Bowl since '91 when Anthony Munoz anchored so many.
Peyton Manning throws to Johnson, another Bengal. He's down to the 15-yard line. And Anderson is one of those guys who has labored in virtual obscurity his entire career and finally gets a chance to get some publicity after Marvin Lewis went there and turned the franchise around.
8 years in the league, and what a job. You talk about Marvin Lewis. What a job John Kitna did for him as a quarterback.
He was terrific.
I mean, Chad Johnson, this young receiver, this kid is so talented. It's unbelievable. And Cincinnati's going to be another one of those teams you better look out for next year.
Peyton short set, throws to Mason. Troy Vincent makes the tackle. Couldn't go inside because Coakley was there.
They're getting closer to the area where the corners can press. Not that they want to, but they can.
Joe, you set a lot of records out here, completion percentages and everything else. It had to be a wonderful feeling to come out here and know that defensive backs couldn't get a lot of help from safeties, and we'll talk about that in a second. Quickly, let's go to Chris Mortensen.
I'm here with Aeneas Williams. Nobody knows this story, Aeneas. You tell it. You woke up at 4 in the morning?
Well, 4 in the morning, and my wife 2 days ago had some kind of virus or something. And I woke up about the same this morning, about 4, throwing up and with a bad diarrhea. Ended up had to go into the hospital for a little while. I came from the hospital straight to here.
10 a.m. The staff told you not to play. Why did you play?
Well, guys come over here. One thing is I don't want guys to get more than the load they need to get. So I just wanted to go out and give it an effort and see if I could do it. And I knew the more I play, I'd be okay. I'm feeling a little bit, but I'll be all right.
This guy took 3 IVs, guys.
Tell you, he's something special.
Go ahead, Paul.
Well, yeah,
Don't look at us. Go ahead.
No, the guy is tough. I mean, here's a guy that really, when they tell you you don't have to play, once this thing is blown up and kicked off, they're all playing.
Manning Peterson got his hands on it, couldn't hold it, intended for the tight end Tony Gonzalez.
Well, Dennis Erickson, the coach of the San Francisco 49ers, said that Julian Peterson was his best player on his football team, and I believe that. I mean, the guy just, he's like the Willie McGinnises, and the guys that can play with their hands down as well as, cover the pass as well as rush the passer. Great speed, great ability, and very strong for their size.
He played 4 spots in a game this year. Linebacker, defensive end, strong safety, and corner. Third and goal for the AFC. Jamal Lewis, the running back, and Manning back to throw. Can't find anybody. Now scrambles. Tipped and incomplete, intended for Mason. Vincent was there, so was Coakley.
Boy, I tell you what, with Mason ends up here, but I don't know if Peyton is looking at Mason, or is it who's coming across the back of the end zone? Is that Heap? Heap is the guy in the back of the end zone, and it looked like Peyton was going to throw to him, or at least try to get it there.
Looked like Todd Heap getting hit again. It's sort of been the theme of the first half of this Pro Bowl is Todd Heap, where are you?
Third and goal. Ward and Johnson are the wide receivers. Manning throws this one. Tony Gonzalez, touchdown.
And that ball was thrown behind the tight end, Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah, but
that time he went to get it.
It was thrown hard, too. It was thrown hard.
Tony Gonzalez, I mean, when he comes off the line of scrimmage, he takes that wide sweep. Now, right away, as soon as he makes the turn, he knows the ball's coming.
That time, Dre Bly.
Great adjustment.
I'll tell you, Dre Bly would have had a shot at the same move as he did in the first quarter, except he slipped just ever so slightly and couldn't get his hand in there.
Vanderjagt for the point after. Mr. Perfect is perfect again. The Chiefs' Tony Gonzalez has enjoyed his team here in Hawaii. As usual, he is an avid fisherman, but on Thursday, he got to go spear fishing for the very first time.
He caught 3 spears.
Yes, he did.
Oh, look at I mean, a little tiny fish. Come on, you got to get something big. That wouldn't be like an appetizer over here for him.
Yeah, I was asking you a question earlier. You held the highest completion percentage here, the most completions in a game with 21. It must have been fun knowing that the safeties wouldn't be able to help that much. You had one-on-ones with great receivers.
You play with great receivers. You know the offensive line is going to, has the pride to be able to protect people.
No interceptions.
No interceptions, and 2 of them. And no interceptions. I can't say that about my career, but I can say that about here.
I'm giving you credit. That's phenomenal.
Thank
no
you.
interceptions.
But you're absolutely right, Mike.
As bad as he threw the ball.
Great feeling.
Let's check in with Susie. Suze, what do you have?
You know, Tony, the first time you and Peyton hooked up at a Pro Bowl, he said, I got to have that guy. What's the connection between you two?
I don't know. We talk a lot during the whole week. We're like, hey, I can get him on this route. I can get him on that route. And he's like, I'm going to put the ball on you, so be prepared to catch it. That first one, I dropped it, and it was a perfect throw. And so I was like, I can't drop it this time. I got to make a catch.
Saw you out doing some fishing. How do you make the best of this whole week?
You got to have a good time. It's so easy to have a good time when you come over here. The Hawaiian people are great. Being around all the guys, all the superstars of the NFL, it's just a fun time.
Thanks.
All right, thanks.
Tony Gonzalez, not only one of the best at his position, one of the best in the entire league.
Jeremy Shockey gets mad at me when I say that I think Tony Gonzalez is the best tight end in football, but it's Jeremy's close, but I don't know if he's there yet.
Beasley, the up back, takes the kickoff. He gets it out to the 39-yard line with 47 seconds to go first half. I think you'd do all right with either Tony Gonzalez or Jeremy Shockey. You'd get by just fine.
The guy that's really been impressive to me, actually through the whole year, too, is the guy that's replaced Jeremy Shockey, and that's Algie Crumpler out of Atlanta. Of course, Jim Mora Jr. taking over as the head coach down there. Michael Vick hopefully will play a full season and be healthy. That ought to be a really exciting season for the Atlanta Falcons. And could you have had a better ending to a season than the last week with the Super Bowl?
Hasselbeck under pressure.
Intercepted.
And that one is picked off Patrick Surtain. McAllister thought he had a shot at it, and it went right to the Miami Dolphin corner.
He's a little bit familiar with interceptions, had 7 this year. There they go.
I'll tell you, this ball was thrown right to Patrick Surtain.
He's the only one sort of looking.
Yeah, Patrick Surtain, he's going to be back on the outside. And here goes the ball. Look at this. It went right into his hands. That was kind of easy.
Matt let that one get away a little bit high. Chris McAllister tries to make a play on it. Patrick Surtain does.
So the AFC has still 40 seconds to work with from their own 37-yard line.
Gee, you wonder if Peyton will go up top.
He's got 2 timeouts remaining.
44 points scored in the first half.
Of course, Chad Johnson caught the first ball from Steve McNair for a touchdown. Hasn't had but 1 reception since.
Peyton with great protection floats it to Gonzalez. He gets out of bounds. The tackle by Corey Chavis, but he got out of bounds going backwards, so they'll have to spend a timeout to stop the clock.
Let me tell you, I was talking to Archie Manning when we first got here about Peyton. And you know, Peyton one time he was doing camps, and a young kid came up and he said, you know, how do I stop from, wall wiggling? He's just throwing a spiral. Peyton said, I used to worry about that. He said, as long as he gets there, it makes no difference. He said, I don't throw spirals. He said, I throw it hard, I get it there, and it doesn't make any difference. So quit worrying about it.
Peyton Manning is writing his name into the record book at an incredible pace. 6 straight years he's had 25 or more touchdown passes. Brett Favre and Dan Marino had held the record at 5. And you're talking about the quarterbacks.
I'm going to guess there'll be a 7th as we sit here next year and talk about the 2005 Pro Bowl.
And he's had 5 straight years with over 4,000 yards passing. 9 out of 18, 190 yards in limited action in this one, and has hit 8 of his last 10 passes. Fakes the draw. Quick out to Harrison. Let's go to Mort.
Peyton's first trip to Hawaii was actually in 1980 when Archie Manning played in the first Pro Bowl ever here in Honolulu. And now Archie has returned to Hawaii for the first time since that game at the Pro Bowl as Peyton's guest. So it's kind of a what goes around comes around, guys.
Boy, did Archie play on some bad teams.
Terrible teams.
I like it. Mort says Peyton's guest. It's his dad. It's more than his guest.
It's a pretty good legacy here. Peyton, Archie, and Eli playing at Mississippi. Eli will be one of the very top picks.
I'm telling you, watch out, Michael, for the guy on the right.
Archie canceled Eli's allowance. Yep. Yanked it away. He did an appearance at the Super Bowl. He says, that's it. You're off the allowance, son. You're on your own.
And Cooper was also out here this week, a kid with a great personality, the other brother in the family who was a terrific wide receiver when he played.
Now, Cooper's a funny guy. You ever spent some time talking to Cooper? Oh.
From the 43, Manning unloads this one, and Harrison couldn't turn around the second time. The ball thrown over his outside shoulder and out of bounds.
That time he finally had somebody in his face. I think looked like it might have been Leonard Little.
You know, it just gets me every time I watch Marvin Harrison run. I don't know if it's me,
But does he get faster?
Probably,
as the year goes on,
you,
he gets
but
faster.
Yeah.
This guy gets faster as the year goes on.
Can't get much lighter.
Well, he eats junk food.
It's 175 pounds as it is.
Quick out to Harrison this time, covered by Dre Bly.
Mike, you were talking about playing in the Pro Bowl before. I had Charlie Brown here, who I played with, and you get into positions when you're familiar with the receiver, and we see Marvin catching a lot of balls from Peyton now. You get into a game, and all of a sudden you start making stuff up, and you tell the other guys, all right, do this. And then at the last minute you say, Marvin, remember what we did like in 01? That little out route? Go ahead and run that. The little subtle changes that go on through the Pro Bowl.
They got 8 seconds, and that's it. No timeouts. So this has got to go to the end zone.
Running play. Cross him up.
It won't be a quarterback draw. And Peyton is just going to throw it away as he was under pressure. And there is still time left on the clock.
Well, here comes Vanderjagt.
Chris Jenkins almost got to him. Last couple plays, Peyton's felt a little bit of heat.
You know, the record that Vanderjagt set this year, 37 out of 37. What made it more remarkable is that he didn't have a bunch of 19-yard field goals in there. He had a lot of kicks between 40 and 50 yards and game winners.
Well, he had a miss also, but it was called back because of a penalty.
That's
and
right.
Had a second chance. So he had a little bit of luck going for him, which I think all records have to have, but you certainly can't take away the job he's done.
Excuse me, he was talking to Sabran on the sidelines for the NFC. He says, hey, come on out here. We're missing a guy. Come on out and block, you know. No good.
And it's off to the right. Our score here at Aloha Stadium, the AFC 31, the NFC 13. Stay tuned for the Toyota halftime show. Live coverage from Aloha Stadium right after this commercial break.
This halftime show is presented by the all-new Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized. Welcome back to the Toyota halftime show with your host, Chris Berman.
And welcome back, everybody, to the frozen tundra of Aloha Stadium. And if you needed a little offense to warm me up, man, you've had it here, certainly from the AFC in the first half of this Pro Bowl, the 25th here in Hawaii. If you tune in late, don't ever let it happen again. However, here we go. Steve McNair on the field for the first play. And what does he do? He's on his own 10-yard line. And, we get a little play action. And we're going to hit Chad Johnson from the Cincinnati Bengals. 90 yards, the second longest play from scrimmage in Pro Bowl history. Peyton Manning has thrown 2 touchdown passes. Ed Reed has blocked a punt. And it's 31-13 at the half. AFC over the NFC. With me is Michael Irvin. And look, this is a game made for you. Let's bombs away, huh?
I don't know about me, Boom. I never had the speed the AFC has on their sidelines. And obviously, they came into this game looking to exploit that. Speed hurts, and it is hurting the NFC. They don't have the type of speed at cornerback. You got Chad Johnson, Marvin Harrison, and Derek Mason, and they are bombs away with the NFC squad.
And how about, look, Steve McNair is hurting, so he's only going to play a series or two. Why not have a couple of the plays be fly pass?
Right. And even the last few plays, there's 31-13 lead. Let's go try to get more points.
Well,
so whoever said they don't play hard in the Pro Bowl.
31-13 AFC. Andy Reid and the NFC said, man, we're going to lose another one. They're going to be coming back, so we'll see. Bring out your abacus. We got more points to come. We got a great halftime celebration of 25 years of Aloha. Michael Irvin, Chris Berman, the gang's here. Enjoy. We'll be back.
Jamal Lewis, league leading rusher, 2,066 yards. Dante Culpepper, Pro Bowl starting quarterback.
Priest Holmes, most touchdowns in one season.
It's 27.
27.
Torrey Holt, league leading receiving yards.
Dante Hall, return specialist with 4 TDs.
No matter who wins tonight's MVP,
one thing's for sure,
they'll be wearing NFL equipment.
NFL equipment, performance apparel.
Wear what the pros wear.
This halftime show is presented by the all-new Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized.
Welcome back to Honolulu, everyone. This year marks the 25th anniversary of the Pro Bowl in Hawaii. So right now, Let's go down to the field for a special halftime celebration featuring the ambassador of Aloha, Danny Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Kalakini, Amy Hanai Ali'i Gillum, and Willie K. It's been 25 years of Aloha.
Hey, ano ai! Aloha kākou pau! Aloha! Aloha! Haole komo mai po kākou! Aloha! Himene na mele ho taina! Aloha! Aloha! Ke akua! Huma kākou! Hiri!
Welcome to my paradise. In these islands will embrace you, surrounding you with pure enchantment. In this paradise of aloha, e como mai, you've come so far just to be under the sun. In this paradise of aloha, aloha Hawaii.
Aloha, Palamamau o Hawaii, Ekomamai tu aloha, Palamamau o Hawaii.
Where heaven waits for you on these islands by the sea. It's a paradise of aloha. Welcome to Hawaii.
Let's do this one for the NFL! 25 years of aloha! Woo! Now, here we go! For 25 years, the NFL's best have been coming to play. To this island paradise, a Pro Bowl holiday. The season's over, the players are here to give us one more game. Sunday's heroes will soon take the field, and that is why we came. 25 years of aloha. The biggest stars in the NFL have come to celebrate. All right, kicking back in the sand and the surf, watching those hula girls sway. 25 years of aloha in the rainbow state. How you doing, people? How you doing? Let me hear you. Here we go. It was a long road from the training camp to the final Pro Bowl game. And along the way to the Super Bowl champ, the players staked their claim. Reaching out beyond the rest, making moves to be the best. Cause there's only one place to be, let me tell you, at the Pro Bowl here in Hawaii. 25 years of aloha. The biggest stars in the NFL have come to celebrate. Oh, kicking back in the sand and the surf, watching those hula girls sway. 25 years of aloha in the rainbow state. 25 years of aloha. Let me see. In the rainbow state. Wow, yeah. Whoa.
Hawaii. There is no other place like it in America or in the world. We're glad you joined us for the Pro Bowl here. We'll be back.
Welcome back to Honolulu, Hawaii, where the AFC scored a record 31 first-half points to lead the NFC 31-13. And Peyton Manning certainly showed why he was the co-MVP of the National Football League in the first half. He was terrific as usual.
Well, he's the most valuable player right now. I mean, but you look, and I think the advantage is there is because they do have their system here. He does have Marvin and other people here, so it's a lot easier for Peyton.
I just really like what you've done with the hut. I think you've added a real personal touch to our booth up here with the little hut up here.
It's not a hut. This is my room. This is what I've been saying.
This is what I thought. But, you know, it's a fun game because you see the individual excellence. You see a Marvin Harrison go up against a Champ Bailey. You see a Peyton Manning throw the football down the field. And for Daunte Culpepper, it's a little bit different because this is a system that he's not used to. So you see him try and adjust as the great athlete he is.
The second half, I think, is where the money comes into play because it's $35,000 apiece for the winning team, $17,500 for the losers. A lot of guys brought family, friends, cousins, whatever over here. It cost them a lot of money to make this trip, and they're going to want to win to get the winner's share. We have 12 players wired for this game. Here was the best of Peyton Manning in the first half.
Red! Tonight.
I think
a little extra
the one thing you hear is the oomph. I mean, he's letting it fly. The one to Tony Gonzalez, I think, was the one that he really let it fly. With Marvin Harrison, he knows basically exactly what Marvin's going to do and be able to do. And he comes back out and now fires one. I just hope he doesn't get another touchdown pass.
Mike said the difference.
Break your record.
Break my record.
Michael said the difference. You didn't say only 17,500, did you?
No, I didn't.
Because these guys will never say only.
Oh, absolutely not.
Are you kidding? They don't say only.
You know, the thing about Peyton Manning that has amazed me the last couple of years, not only has he gotten better, which you would expect from somebody who works as hard as he does, but he has gotten physically stronger. He has a much better arm than he did coming out of Tennessee.
And I think the thing is, everybody says, where's he going to go? I mean, to me, there's no place else but Indianapolis because he's invested 5 years up until this year in running that offense. Now all of a sudden he's got help and they have a chance. They made it all the way to the AFC Championship game.
You got to get some defense.
You talked about the money, though, and having families come over. The Kansas City Chiefs, 9 Pro Bowlers, chipped in and split the expenses to bring the equipment men over. A lot of people from the offices of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Isn't that great?
A lot of players. I mean, the tab was up over like 70,000. And Willie Rolfe, who was the only one that didn't make it over because he stayed home to take care of himself and some family, was the one that sort of organized. Really a classy act by the Chief guys.
Sure was. We had a chance to talk to Carl Peterson the other night. There's Derek Mason on the return from the 12 for the AFC.
These guys are returning. They're kind of looking around and saying, you know, you can tackle me anytime you want here.
Should be Trent Green coming out for this quarter.
And Trent Green finished second in the NFL this year. 4,093 yards passing. His rating was 4th in the NFL, 92.6. And a lot of people very happy to see Trent Green here in his first Pro Bowl appearance because he's been in this league for 10 years.
Probably could have been here a few years ago when Kurt Warner was the MVP of the league. Of course, he was the one that was supposed to coach the quarterback the Rams in that game. Started as a San Diego Charger.
Had a tremendous preseason, was hurt, takes the snap from center, drops it, picks it back up, down the middle for Harrison, knocked away by Champ Bailey.
Oh,
one step underthrown.
Marvin had his sights on that one. I mean, he was running along, and that ball was coming right to him. And watch this move inside. Now he's just looking back. See how his head stays still? That just amazes me. The great receivers do that, and then Champ Bailey just closes on it in a second to knock it away. I remember talking to Jerry Rice about that. I love studying receivers.
What do you think? What do you think? They're only called bobblehead dolls?
Some of the bad ones do have bobblehead heads.
Jamal Lewis bursts through the hole this time. LeVar Arrington gets a free ride out to the 39-yard line.
You know what's been the surprising part of this whole thing is when they're running, all of the big runs have been up the middle. The draws, the quick handoffs. When you're going wide or try to get outside the tackle, the problem is there's too much speed down there.
That's right.
So you go right at the speed and don't let them react.
You talked about it before. You're going to get the man-on-man blocking by the big guys up the middle. For the AFC, you got Kevin Mawai anchoring that in the middle, and Tom Nalen, the center from the Denver Broncos.
Well, this time Richardson gets a rare carry and wishes he hadn't because Leroy Glover was waiting in the hole for him.
Well, what happened is Will Shields is a guard that came down and forgot to block Leroy Glover. Leroy Glover got across the line before Shields could see him. And watch this. Here comes Shields. Look at this. Glover went all the way around, ducked underneath, and then made the tackle in the backfield.
Had a chance to fly out with Leroy, his wife Spring, and little Leroy.
Play golf with him?
I did not play golf. I think he's the only one I didn't play golf with.
Why don't you send him $20
But
anyway?
I did have a plane flight with his family, which I enjoyed. So thank you, Mike. Just 20 would be a cheap outing for me.
Trent Green guns this one, and Todd Heap has had a day so far he'd probably like to forget. He's been knocked around, and that one he couldn't hold. Trent Green had a brilliant year for that high-octane Kansas City offense. A career-high 4,039 yards, second in the league. Makes his first Pro Bowl, led the Chiefs to a 13-3 regular season record. Had a season-best 400 yards in Week 6 at Green Bay.
Well, you know, Michael, Joe, I'm not taking anything away from Trent Green, but when you've got Priest Holmes and you've got a guy that runs the ball as much as he does, I mean, it is a lot easier to pass the ball.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with that, Paul. I just think, you have to be able to throw the football effectively because sooner or later people are going to try and take away your running game. I think you throw the football in this league to score. I think you run to win football games, and that's the way Kansas City has approached it. Certainly, I mean, look at LaDainian Tomlinson, a great runner in San Diego, and they didn't have anybody to throw the football.
That's right.
And they really couldn't win football games.
Todd Heap finally had a chance to catch a ball without somebody right in his grill.
Well, yeah, but he slipped and fell down.
Now everybody's in the shadows on the field, so everybody could probably see easily.
First down, AFC already leading 31-13.
Mike, back to Trent Green. You talk about a guy on a traveled road. Got drafted by the Chargers. Spent a year or two there. Went and played with the BC Lions as the third-string quarterback in the Canadian Football League.
And got cut.
Wound up coming back to Washington. Threw 23 touchdowns and 11 interceptions in a year, but they were only 6-10, so they make the change there. Goes to the Rams, is supposed to be able to take the greatest show on turf someplace, gets hurt, and opens the door for Kurt Warner.
And I think that's why so many people are happy for him for his success in Kansas City. There's Todd Heap, the all-pro tight end from the Baltimore Ravens. Let's go to Susie.
Well, Ray Lewis had 6 interceptions this year. That's almost unheard of for an inside linebacker. How are you trying to redefine the position?
I think simply by just doing a lot of things that and linebackers are not used to knowing for doing. And that's one of the things. And it's just reading quarterbacks, going back, watching film. So it's just easy for me to make tackles. It's easy for me to do that. That's the easiest thing for me to do is go to the football. So I was just wanting to come and improve just a little bit on my game. And every year you always have something to improve on. So I just improved on catching it this year.
Coming into the season, you said the goal was to put fear in every running back, even before they stepped on the field. You're out here with the best. Who do you respect the most?
I think I respect all these guys first and foremost. You know, anytime that you have these type of guys in a Pro Bowl, you have to give them respect. You know, because, I mean, just the hard work that they put into it. So, you know, respect is always there for these guys right now.
Your teammate just scored. Yeah.
I saw it. Hey, that's another one. I love that guy so much, man. He's having a great year and just happy to see him come back off of them knee surgeries. He's doing good.
We're going to tee this up. What do you think?
Wow. And he's 240-some pounds running like that. That's scary, Susan. And I have to practice against him. You see what I'm talking about?
Thanks, Ray.
You know the thing about Ray Lewis, so when we do the games and about all the studying in the film, he said, I can tackle. All I have to do is get there. This guy studies so much. He knows exactly what the offenses are doing as soon as they snap the ball. And he's there to make the play.
And Ray Lewis is watching Jamal Lewis run. He says, that's scary. How do you think most guys feel with him on the other side of the ball?
Petrified. AFC scores again. They're running it up on the NFC.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
ESPN's coverage of the AFC-NFC Pro Bowl, brought to you by The Neighborhood, built by MCI. Unlimited local and long distance for one low monthly price. 100 streams of satellite radio. Sirius, it's on. Suzuki, maker of performance-driven motorcycles, scooters, and all-terrain vehicles. And Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL.
It was fun for us to watch Paul get in a little surfing while we were out here. That was after 2 lessons. These teachers are really good.
No, that was after 2 cases of beer. Not 2 lessons.
38-13 AFC. They have scored at least 38 points in the last 4 years out here. Azuma on the return. They could use a big one from this guy. Trying to get to the corner. Cuts back again. He's got room. Jerry Azuma across the 40. Finally dragged down by Hines Ward. We've got a timeout. 10:54 to go. Third quarter from Honolulu. Those ukulele lessons pay off eventually. A little local color here from Honolulu as we have been entertained poolside every evening at our hotel.
The Iolani Hotel, with a beautiful place that is. Players, practice field next to it.
Mark Bulger, the new quarterback, he led the NFC in passing yards for the St. Louis Rams. And drops to throw first down, incomplete, intended for Holt. Let's go to Mort.
16 seasons as a member of the famed Purple People Eaters of the Minnesota Vikings. A 20-year wait for the Hall of Fame. What a week it's been for you.
Oh, it's been a great week.
Carl Eller, by the way.
Yes, Carl Eller, and I'm in the Hall of Fame, and wow, it's been a great week. Everything's just gone wonderful.
You played in 6 Pro Bowls. Do you have a favorite Pro Bowl memory?
Well, you know, the thing is that when we wanted to win, you met guys who were on another team. I remember meeting Deacon Jones for the first time. We became friends. You know, that was kind of a neat deal for me.
And they kept stats for sacks all the way back. How many would you have Deacon had?
Oh, I'd have probably had 160 or 70, probably.
Deacon says he's over 100, guys. 200.
I think Deacon said he was over 300. He got so many different sacks before they kept track of it as an official statistic. And here are the Hall of Fame inductees this year. Bob Brown, great offensive lineman. Carl Eller, you just saw. John Elway and Barry Sanders.
And Barry's
could not be here this week
because his wife is due with a baby. Congratulations. Hope all is well, Barry.
3rd and 10 for the NFC, and Bulger nearly intercepted by Ty Law.
Ty Law goes by the bench saying, don't throw that over there. You know, I've been picking
Ray Lewis going over to give him a hard time. Said, Ty, come on, we only have 38.
I would get my running game moving if I were them.
Ray Lewis played with a harness on. I believe he's still wearing it on that right arm of his and right shoulder. I mean, you got Steve McNair playing this game with an ankle that's still sore, and Ray Lewis playing with a harness on, and just have to admire the guys that really want to be here.
Sauerbrunn, beautiful kick to Mason. Just crushed it. Mason back to the 7. And will be taken down at the 11-yard line. Alex Bannister down on special teams for Seattle. He is the special teams player at 17 stops on teams this year. 38-13 AFC. Ray Lewis wired for sound. What did he have to say to Ty Law in that last play?
Come here, let me talk to you. You can't call the interception, then don't catch it. Yeah, right. Come on, Ty, you're killing me. You're killing me, Peter.
He said they called it. If you're going to call it an interception, you got to catch it.
Trent Green in the AFC will start from its 12-yard line. And Green to throw. Gonzalez out across the 30. Let's go to Susie with Ty Law.
Everybody talks about Ray Lewis as the leader. What are you thinking when he's in your face?
Oh, man, it's all fun, man. He's the captain, right? And I deserve to get screamed out on that one, man. But we out there having a lot of fun. We planned on picking one off and going to the end zone and do a little celebration. And I called it and messed it up.
You had 3 interceptions in the championship game. What's the first exchange like when you see Peyton Manning here in Hawaii?
Oh, man, we played against each other so much, so it's a mutual respect. It's all in competition, and we're trying to do what's best for our teams. But once we're down here, we're on the same team. So, I mean, none of that gets talked about. Maybe a little stab here and there, but it's all in good competition.
We know, given the salary cap, it's not a sentimental game anymore. All season long, there was talk about maybe you're being released. You go ahead and win the Super Bowl. What's your gut feeling?
Well, my gut feeling is I'll be a Patriot. I mean, people don't realize that I'm still under contract. I have 2 years left, but we all know about the salary cap, and I have a high cap figure. But hopefully we can put our heads together and, you know, do something to keep me there, because I would love to retire as a Patriot.
I hope we see it. Thanks.
Thank you.
You know, to me, that is the one shame of the salary cap is that guys often can't play their entire career in the city where they started. Law playing in his 4th Pro Bowl this year, his 3rd straight, 6 picks during the regular season, and as Susie mentioned, 3 more in the AFC Championship game against the Colts, and did it basically on one good leg all year. Clinton Portis dives out across the 40-yard line.
You look at Chris McAllister in this game. You look at Ty Law. The size of these corners. They're all over 200 pounds. All of them can run. They're physically strong. He did a terrific job on Muhsin Muhammad in the Super Bowl. Got on him one-on-one. Of course, we saw the job he did in the AFC Championship game and was an MVP here, I believe, in 1999.
You know, it really is such a shame when a guy legitimately wants to stay somewhere, and the salary cap almost doesn't give him a chance.
KGB knocks the ball loose, and the NFC recovers.
What a job by Kabir Viajamila. I mean, here's a guy who's been here a little over 24 hours. Got in yesterday afternoon at 2 o'clock on the left end. You see him come around, number 94. Reuben Brown can't get out and block him, strips the ball from Trent Green. He'll play in the game today and go home tomorrow. He was the player that came and replaced Simeon Rice, and the only thing I can say to Simeon Rice is, why don't you respect the players that are here, respect the game. If you don't want to come, don't come, but don't put it on a player to have to go through what Kabir has had to go through to get here.
And Andy Reid was far less than pleased that Simeon Rice didn't show up until late in the week. He was on vacation, presumably somewhere in Europe, and then missed a practice, missed a meeting, and the NFL fined him and they sent him home.
If you don't want to be here, that's your choice, but don't come over here and put a drag on everybody else. There are guys here that really respect and love this game and want to be here. And he talks about, Simeon says, I want to be the best in the game. It starts with playing in games like this and at least showing up.
And the officials have reversed their ruling. Trent Green came out of the pile with the football, and they gave it back to the AFC.
How did he get it away from Kabir?
I don't know.
Kabir went to reach for the ball and knocked it into Green's hands.
Kabir has jet lag. Trent Green fumbles this one, and it's picked up by Leonard Little. Well, there's no mystery about that one.
Well, yeah, his first encounter at quarterback, Trent Green dropped the ball when he went back to throw. Then this one, he leaves the ball on the ground, and then Kabir knocked the ball out of his hands. So that's actually three fumbles.
A turnover by the AFC. Will it give the NFC new life? The AFC leads at 38-13. The last two plays, let's hear what Trent Green had to say. He was wired.
He missed it. I got the ball. I got the ball. He never had it.
Well, the ball usually is pretty good proof. And he came out with it on the first one, but not the second. Bulger with people in his face throws complete to Torrey Holt down to the 10.
Well, we saw what Peyton Manning did with Marvin Harrison as far as the comfort level between a quarterback and a receiver. Mark Bulger, the first pass he threw was high. It was to Torrey Holt. Now he comes back and manages to complete another one. I mean, you just find the guys that know you.
Well, all Holt did was catch 117 passes for 1,696 yards.
He made some of the greatest catches throughout the course of the year. Down around his knees, up over his head, behind his back.
Bulger straight back to throw after the pump fake to the corner. Holt.
Touchdown.
Touchdown. So back-to-back strikes for the St. Louis Ram touchdown combination.
Chris McAllister is on the outside. I'll tell you, this was just a heck of a move. He took Chris McAllister back to the inside and just broke it to the outside. The pass had to be perfect, and it was.
Talking to Chris McAllister, he's had about 3 weeks since the season ended. He said, well, I was going to work out a little bit, but then I said, nah, I don't think so. And that's the result of just having 3 weeks of the season sort of get to you a little bit, take a little time off.
Torrey Holt now with 4 catches, 93 yards, and a touchdown. And Wilkins will try for the point after. And it's 38-20. You know, when you talk about Bulger, the only thing you really have to know about him as a starter, he is 18-4. Well, try that one on.
Well, here's the other thing you have to know about him is he is probably going to be in the middle of embroiled in what will be a quarterback question in St. Louis. Will Kurt Warner be able to stay there and want to stay there, knowing that Mark Bulger now has played in a Pro Bowl as Kurt had, has the same as the record you mentioned, Mike, 18-4.
Let's check in with Mort.
With Torrey Holt. Torrey, what's that play in the Rams playbook? Bulger was throwing it.
That's a two-shake right there in the Rams playbook. Just a little quick slant. He pumps, and I work back out to the corner of the end zone. He was playing inside leverage, so I caught him there with the slant, was able to get back outside.
This game was getting away from you guys a little bit. You're back in it. The question everybody fan wants to know is, do you really care?
Yeah, we care. I mean, guys here, we're here to compete. We got a great deal of pride. So we want to come over and compete and give these fans what they want. They want to see a good game. So we're not just going to lay down and let the AFC walk away with it real nice like that. We want to keep competing and keep trying to get back in this game and win it.
Plus about 20 extra grand for the winners, of course.
Right.
Well, you know one thing, Mike, and Joe, you played here, and you think about an all-star game. These guys know, if they start walking around out here, somebody's going to label them, and you're going to get hurt. So you have to, you really have to go at it. And I saw a couple of times on kickoff returns where a guy had a shot at another guy and kind of, he blocked him, but he didn't take him out like he could have.
Really, from a special team standpoint, the way that the kicks are covered in an all-star game isn't really a bad idea to do it during the season.
Right.
You set up 5 or 6 different waves instead of having everybody run down full speed. You sort of take your time a little bit. There's nowhere for the kick returner to go.
And you know what we haven't had today? An illegal block in the back.
That's the other thing. That's right. Nobody's moving fast enough.
But I think we should have more starters on the kickoff team.
I think there's plenty of them out there right now, Paulo.
It's like Andy Reid said, we didn't get many volunteers.
There's
the ball
that
blows off the tee again.
9-mile-an-hour wind blowing it away.
You have a chance to vote online for the Pro Bowl player of the game. Log on to ESPN.com or NFL.com. You can cast your vote there. Online results will contribute to the overall tabulation of today's most valuable player.
Peyton Manning was sort of walking away with it. Now all of a sudden Torrey Holt's jumped up. I mean, this is the time of the game when you can become an MVP.
And you may have to wait a little bit. Derek Mason is back in there for the injured Dante Hall. Across the 20. And cut down as he reached the 32.
Like I said, you said there were no blocks in the back. Spotter Mark said, yeah. And
No blocks in the front?
Not too many blocks in the front either. LeVar Arrington, you know, when you see this guy and you talk to him, he's always got a smile on his face. You talk about a guy that loves his football game. He signed a huge contract. He actually signed it, what was it, the day before we did a game in Washington.
End of the season.
And I'm going to tell you what, this guy is a player. And he wants to see some, he wanted to have some say-so in getting the defensive guys in there.
Well, I'll tell you, he's not going to have a whole lot of say-so with Greg Williams as the new defensive coordinator. But when you take a look at the way Takeo Spikes has flourished and finally become a Pro Bowler up in Buffalo when Greg Williams was the head coach, I think LeVar Arrington's future as a Washington Redskin and being very productive has to be very bright.
Well, we just talked about LeVar Arrington and his speed, his quickness, and getting to the outside. He's going to be here. Watch. He looks from the inside. Nothing's there. Now he's trying to be blocked, so he goes back to the outside. How's that?
And he is so excited that Joe Gibbs is the new Redskins coach.
He should be. Coach Gibbs is a heck of a coach.
Green short set, throws complete to Mason. Loose ball, picked up by Jerry Azuma. Back to the 20, to the 10. Trent Green takes him out of bounds. Arrington threw him a heck of a block, and it's a 34-yard fumble return.
What a job they did tearing the ball away. Derek Mason's almost going to the ground, and the ball gets ripped away.
All right, we're talking about LeVar Arrington. Here he is ISO'd again. Take a look at this guy. I said he's all over the field. All we have to do is just mention the guy's name, and these are the things that happen. He knocks the ball loose. But I'll tell you the funny part about it. Down in front, when Azuma got the ball down in front, they were trying to figure out how to block Jonathan Ogden. Now, where do you hit a guy that's 6'12", 700 pounds?
You don't.
You can't really pick a spot. You just hit all over it.
I think Dre Bly might have pulled it out, and LeVar put the little finishing touches on that one.
The AFC has fumbled the ball 3 times in its last 4 plays. Sean Alexander is in at running back on 1st and goal, and Alexander will get the carry to the 4. Zach Thomas made the stop. Check in with Chris Mortensen.
With LeVar Arrington, LeVar, a big hit. You guys are in the game.
Try to make it something. Try to make something out of it. Get a viewers something to watch.
Did you notice that there have been an unusual amount of big hits in this game?
Guys are playing. I don't know who thought that we was going to take this as a vacation, but guys are out here playing.
All right, guys, you heard it.
3 straight times in the Pro Bowl for LeVar Arrington.
You ever see him without a smile on his face?
Nope.
I'm telling you.
Alexander again, this time to about the 3. It will be 3rd and goal. Zach Thomas again.
Oh, I think
on
they
the
have.
tackle.
I think they're going to have to go 2 down territory, Paul.
What are you talking about? This guy just. I think we were sleeping on that grass wall there a little while ago.
Andy Reid, talking to Andy earlier, it's funny. You know, he's coached here for the last 2 years, lost both of them, and you know he's thinking we've got to win a Pro Bowl before maybe we can get to the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, you really made Andy Reid feel good. He told me he had a timeshare here.
2 tight ends, Alexander. Here comes Bulger. Little roll, throws. Keenan McCardell, touchdown. His first catch of the day. McCardell, a 12-year veteran in his 2nd career Pro Bowl. Always run great routes, always had great hands. And there's another guy. You never see him without a smile on his face.
1996 with the Jacksonville Jaguars, he was a Pro Bowler. Now he just slides on into the end zone.
And Joe, that's not an easy throw either, although it looks easy. The guy's so wide open.
I think it's the toughest throw. When you have a guy wide open and you're moving, the tendency is to just short arm it. And that time Mark just put it out there nice and smooth.
Wilkins knocks it through, and all at once, the NFC's right back in this game. 38-27 AFC. LeVar Arrington wired, making plays and having a ball.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go. We're going to get it, we're going to get it. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Just explodes into people, doesn't he?
So fast. I've always believed he could be an incredible middle linebacker. I picture him like a Ray Lewis with his closing speed, his athletic ability, his ball skills. Be amazed at what he could do from the middle.
The AFC has suddenly developed fumbleitis. Mason bobbled that one. Back to the 20, 30, and out at the 32. One thing you predicted here, Joe, was trouble with quarterback-center exchange.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hardest thing because quarterbacks get so comfortable that you don't even think about it with your own guys. But then you come to the Pro Bowl and you have a very limited period of time. You only get maybe 20 snaps through the course of each day for about 3 days, and that's it. And with Kevin Mawae and Tom Nalen with the Denver Broncos and the Jets respectively, it's something that Trent Green has to work on, especially when a center steps one way or the other big. Now Kevin Mawae is back in at the center position for the AFC.
But again, don't you think, Joe, when you're in a game like this and you're not having those exchanges that you had before, that you would kind of eliminate the plays, where the center is pulling? Because if you do, that seems to be where the problems were arising, when the center is pulling and they don't stay with the center long enough.
That's where you see the fumbles occur. That exchange wasn't very clean either by Trent Green. Even when the center moves forward, it's a problem, Paul, because the center's not thinking about it. He's used to having his guy there, too, so all he's doing is snapping the ball. It's the quarterback that's got to make the adjustment.
Green straight back to throw over the middle. Taken by Heap. Let's go to Susie.
Well, Mike, the Colts hadn't sent a defensive player to the Pro Bowl in 15 years, but defensive end Dwight Freeney makes his first appearance. What does that signify to you?
Well, it means a lot. I mean, we had a lot of good players come out of Indianapolis. Unfortunately, we hadn't had that one player here. And I'm just out here trying to represent the Colts in Indianapolis.
We always hear how the intensity level of this game starts to pick up. It seems like the NFC's trying to get back into it. What do you guys have to do here?
I see that. Now it's, an 11-point game now. So we got to pick it up now. It looks like they're making more big plays out there, so, I got to make something happen.
Get ready to go. Thanks.
How about that? Kabir's got a chance. When we talk about MVPs, I mean, Kabir Biaggiamila is really the guy that has ignited and turned the NFC into a, possible threat. They're only down by 11 now, but he's the guy that's making the plays.
He goes right by Jonathan Ogden. Jonathan Ogden just tries to push him away, and Kabir, he just overpowered him. And, with speed.
Whoa.
With speed.
Okay.
Well, you gotta let me, so many times you gotta let me finish before you put your lips in there on it.
And Green fumbles the snap from center.
Now that time we saw Kevin Mawae try and pull to the right. Out to his left. When Kevin moves to his left, it's very critical that as a quarterback you have to follow with your hands the center's rear end. Watch him go to the left hard. He tries to make the snap. Now he goes left, and Trent Green is just fighting. Now, I want to tell you, when you start fighting the snap from center, the only thing on Trent Green's mind right now, it's not plays, it's not throwing the football, it's please just let me get the snap.
And Trent Green is on the verge of tying a Pro Bowl record he doesn't want, 4 fumbles. Green on 3rd and very long, will throw it very long. And Champ Bailey is back there to knock it away from Hines Ward.
Well, Hines Ward, this is one of those plays where the offensive guy now becomes the defensive guy. He becomes the corner. Hines Ward became the corner because, I'm telling you right now, Champ Bailey was in this pattern. Look at Champ Bailey. This is his ball. And Hines Ward goes up and knocks Champ Bailey down. If he doesn't do that, look at this. It looks like Champ's the guy that's in the pattern.
Now Craig Hendrick will come in to punt. He had to do double duty for a period this year because Joe Nedney was hurt in that opening game, and Keenan McCardell will go back.
And then Tennessee brings in Gary Anderson.
Gary Anderson.
87 years old, Gary Anderson.
And not only did Nedney average 43.9 as a punter, he made 4 or 5 field goals. Hendrick gets off a gorgeous kick here. McCardell all the way back to the 11. Reverse to Lavernius Coles. Coles keeps his feet, makes it up to the 24. 13-yard return. Let's go to Mort.
Amazing development here, Kabir Gbaja-Biamila. Where were you, and what has the last 48 hours been like for you?
Well, I was in Green Bay, and I got a call Friday that they want me to play in the Pro Bowl. So, you know, I told my wife, I said, can I get 10 minutes to think about it? So me and my wife prayed about it, and then called my dad and everything. I said, just go. I mean, this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance thing. So it's truly by Jesus' mercy that I'm up here right now. I was an alternate. I didn't have the greatest year like I usually do. And the fact that I'm even at the Pro Bowl, got 2 sacks today, is truly awesome.
Have you checked your contract to see if you have any Pro Bowl incentives?
You know something? I don't know, but when I get home, I'll call my agent, I'll check it myself. But that's what he gets paid to do, so he'll let me know if I do.
As well, I thought the NFL, he's got a commitment. He's got to go home tomorrow, but the NFL's promised an expenses paid vacation to Hawaii sometime.
Hey, Mort, let's see. I'm living in Green Bay. It's 4 below. The wind's about 30 miles an hour. The phone rings. It's like to come to Honolulu for the weekend.
Yeah, but
how long do you have to think about that?
But if you ask your wife and you say, do I have to go down? But it's a day. You're here for a day and then turn around and go back.
Torrey Holt, by the way, couldn't handle that last pass. It's 2nd and 10, the NFC. They're only 2 touchdowns behind. Mark Bulger wired, having a great time in the 4th quarter. Going in.
Like, T, run a 2 shake. That's right. Forget that Colorado 2 shake. That's a gimme there.
Say bye-bye to that Z71.
One of the most unassuming young men you'll ever meet.
He's only started 22 football games. And
118.
And, you know, so, I mean, I think he's made his case in St. Louis that he is the guy.
Holt makes this catch up to the 37-yard line in front of Ty Law.
Torrey Holt over 100 yards receiving now.
Yeah, but, you know, when you see this catch that he makes, well, look at his hands. Just watch how soft this is. Look at his hands. Bink, he catches this out away from his body in his hands. That's easy.
You know, the long-term contract he got seemed to really calm down his demeanor. He was one of those guys woofing all the time and trying to make a statement. And I think the fact that that validated his presence in the NFL.
He now has made a statement with his performance.
Absolutely. Bulger, another quick set. This one to Lavernius Coles and pushed out of bounds by Ty Law. So Bulger came in and missed a couple. He's hit everything else.
But you talk about a couple of players. Lavernius Coles, what a great move that was for the Redskins to get him. I watch him practice. I live in the area. Great work ethic. Never lets a ball hit the ground. And I really think that when Lavernius Coles left the Jets, of all the guys that they lost, he had the greatest impact in 2 ways. It forced Santana Moss to really step up, have a great year, but I think it also cost the Jets a little bit in the production that they got out of Lavernius a year before.
Coles was the first Redskin wide receiver to come to Hawaii since Gary Clark in '91. Bulger throwing a deep one, incomplete, out of bounds. Ty Law on coverage. It was probably the biggest news that we had late in the season outside the Super Bowl win for the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick with a brilliant year was the return of Joe Gibbs to pro football. There are still people in Washington who don't believe it happened. They were just absolutely stunned.
Well, I think it's going to be a 9-month honeymoon. I really believe that every Washington Redskin fan is sitting there saying, hey, this is the greatest thing that can happen. Joe's still going to have to go out and coach. He has been away from the game for 12 years. He's brought his entire offensive staff back. Don Bro, Joe Bugle, Rennie Simmons, Jack Burns, all the guys that were with him when he made that run. The man coached 11 years, went to 4 world championships, and he did it 2 years consecutively after his first head coaching job. So he can turn it around in a hurry. And I think the Redskins, I think Patrick Ramsey has a chance to be a Pro Bowler.
I do too.
And he's got himself a heck of a football player and a pretty solid football team to start with.
Well, I asked Andy Reid about it too, and I said, do you think maybe being out for 12 years, that it kind of passed him by a little bit? Could that have happened? He said absolutely not. He'll just pick up where he was before. I mean, there's some things he's going to have to get used to. But Joe Gibbs is no dummy.
Sauerbrunn, a great kick. Derek Mason backed up inside the 5. Got to the outside, and Arrington forced him out of bounds. Let's go down to Chris Mortensen on the sideline. Mort?
Just to follow up a little bit on Mark Brunell of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Brunell, in fact, is scheduled to meet with Joe Gibbs on Monday to discuss this possible trade. This trade can't be made till March 4th. That's when the new NFL calendar year starts, but it's real. There might be a second-round pick involved. The Chargers, Cowboys, and Dolphins also want to get in this game.
And Chris, I was going to say, ever since Mark Brunell, ever since it became apparent he wasn't going to be in Jacksonville anymore, I thought the Cowboys were a perfect fit for him.
Well, a lot of people thought different people were a perfect fit. The question is with Bill Parcells, what does Bill want to do with his quarterback position? Is it going to be Quincy Carter? Can he, after a year playing there, do a pretty good job? I mean, I think there's a decision to be made. I think there's a decision to be made out in San Diego with Drew Brees. He's been given some opportunity to play, but it seems like every other week, Doug Flutie winds up playing.
And the word is they will not take Eli Manning, the San Diego Chargers, with the first pick in the draft.
Don't you believe the word at this time? In February, the word has nothing to do with happens in April. I mean, I'm not saying he will or won't, but I think they certainly have to give consideration to it.
That's the end of the third quarter here in Honolulu. The score, the AFC 38, the NFC 27.
Tiny bubble in the wine, make me happy, make me happy, make me feel fine, make me feel fine. Tiny bubble, make me warm, the feeling that I'm gonna love you till the end of time.
Terry Tate and Don Hollow, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for him. And we want to thank Terry Tate for everything he's done out here at the Pro Bowl this week.
What do you want to hear for him?
Trent Green on the flea flicker to Johnson down to the 45-yard line.
I just, you know, Terry Tate, we watched this guy film some of this stuff, and I just want to, I just hope everybody signed away. There won't be any lawsuits, because I'm going to tell you something, folks. When you saw those things, those clips, he really whacked some people.
Yes, he did.
There's a guy that was a car attendant. He is now a waiter because he knocked him into that room, and the guy can't get out.
AFC on top. They have moved into NFC territory at the 44-yard line. Clinton Portis, the running back, lowers his head and gets one, maybe.
You know, to be a running back in a Pro Bowl with all of these wide receivers and all of these quarterbacks that have gotten such huge numbers. I mean, you get when you're invited to Pro Bowl as a running back, you're thinking, well, it's going to be a short day.
Well,
there's not a whole lot I can do.
It is, but the other part of it, if you watch this game, I think, which is a lot of fun, these guys are used to making moves at the line of scrimmage to avoid linebackers blitzing. They're hesitating. I mean, they get the ball, and there's this giant hole, and they don't know what to do with it.
Green to Johnson, just snatched it out of the air, and he fumbled. LeVar Arrington picked it up. What is going on with the AFC?
And he fumbled.
Holy cow, they just can't hold on to the football. Now there's a flag down.
Well, the thing about it is, did LeVar Arrington have control of the ball before he fumbled the ball out of bounds? Okay. Chad Johnson was the receiver.
What that is that's an unsportsmanlike signal.
All right, here it comes. Here is the catch. All right. He's running with, he's putting the ball away. All right, now the ball gets knocked out by Bly. LeVar Arrington picks it up. Now he has control of the football.
The penalty has to do with an alignment by one of the defensive linemen. And so what's going to happen, it's an unsportsmanlike penalty against the NFC, and it will result in the AFC keeping the ball and getting a first down.
Well, that's a huge break, and they mentioned 93, which would be Mike Rucker. And what you can't do as a defensive lineman is line up in gaps. You have to line up across from the guy in front of you. Defensive tackle on offensive guard.
And the defensive lineman cannot crisscross in a pass rush initially at the line of scrimmage. These are all subtle rules that apply only to the Pro Bowl.
Well, that's what we were talking about at the beginning, where you have it's just one-on-one play.
So a huge break for the AFC. They keep the ball, and Trent Green goes right back to work and throws this behind Marvin Harrison.
I'll tell you one other thing you're not calling, and that's holding. Brad Hopkins just threw Rucker on the ground. I mean, no one.
Well, he didn't hold him. He threw him. Is there a difference?
Step over toe hold. Take a look on the left-hand side of the screen, or right here. Look on the bottom. You think this is a takedown? Oh, no. Okay. That's a takedown.
It's a piggyback takedown.
Yeah, but
we have a new name now, the piggyback takedown.
Well, you know, it'd be nice if the officials never did call anything in the game.
Hey, I think these guys do a terrific job.
Oh, well, here we go again.
They are.
Oh.
Oops.
Corey Simon got a free run.
Will Shields looking at him going, wait a second. What's happening here? Look at Corey.
Corey thinks it's funny. I don't think Will.
5-yard penalty still. First down.
I don't think Will Shields sees the humor in it. Yeah, he does. He's smiling.
Is he smiling? Watch, want to see 68 disappear? Watch this. Bink.
And then Corey helps him back up.
Will Shields, 11 years with the Kansas City Chiefs. He and Tony Richardson have the longest tenure with that ball club.
And he has the longest consecutive streak in the Pro Bowl, 9 straight years. Portis dives for the goal line. The official was cut down, and now they signal touchdown. Clinton Portis now will check on the official.
I tell you, the guy who makes a play and seals this whole thing off is the center, Tom Naylor. He gets out to the outside and allows Clinton Portis to get out there. Watch on your left-hand side. Look at 66. He screens, he blocks, the hole is there, and that's LeVar Arrington.
Well, if you've got Kabir Biajamila coming up the field, may as well throw the screen on top of him. Yep. There's no replay when you talk about the Pro Bowl, and he doesn't step out of bounds. Does a terrific job of getting in, hitting the pylon.
Our most valuable player is the entire AFC squad coaching staff wearing those red shirts.
Why?
Because they are about as ugly as it is.
Clinton Portis for the touchdown. They continue to attend to the official, and we're still trying to identify who it is.
We've already lost one official today, and that's Aaron Pointer, who actually is retiring after this game and had to leave at halftime because he wasn't feeling well.
And we do not have a number chart up here for the officials. Ron Spittler, we are told, is the man who
field judge.
The field judge who had his legs cut out from under him. And glad to see he's able to get up and run back on the field. Vanderjagt for the point after, knocks it through. So the big break on that series was the illegal alignment that cost him possession of the ball after the fumble. The results have been added up. It's time to reveal what play you, the fans, have chosen online for the NFC to run. Let's get on board with NFC offensive coordinator Brad Childress.
Not only with Brad Childress, but with honorary captain Don Shula, great Hall of Famer. Brad, the fans have spoken. You explain the play and tell us what's going to happen here.
Has 67 solid U Seattle. We're going to try to hit Algie Crumpler over here in a 3-deep seam, stick it back underneath him.
Coach, what do you think?
Receiver has to clean it out so that it's open for the tight end to get to the outside on a bow out.
You can't get any better analyst than
about 18, 20 yards.
Yeah, we got to have it. Right.
All right, guys.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Coach Shula's gotten a big kick out of being here this week and around the game, and
yeah,
you know, He really just, the man absolutely loves the game of football. I mean, he looks at these young guys. Oh, here we are, the Indianapolis Colts kickoff. There it is. Chad Johnson leading the way. There they go. Oh, a little twist. Look at Zach Thomas.
And the crowd loves it.
There they go. There it is.
Oh, you gotta like that.
That's the Indianapolis Colts kickoff team. Good move, Zach. Well, sort of.
Jerry Azuma on the run from the 9. Look at that burst. And Azuma with Vanderjagt cutting him down and stayed on his feet. Finally knocked down by Hines Ward. 58-yard kickoff return by the man who led the NFL in kick return average.
And that's the third tackle that Hines Ward has made on the kickoff.
Well, this is speed. He just gets his ball. He sees the sideline. He gets a one block right there. But look at the rest of it. It's just straight up the field.
Now, there's a guy who didn't start returning kickoffs until the 5th game of the season this year, had only returned like one other in college.
All right, now we're going to see this pass to Crumpler. Is it coming now? All right, here it comes. And LG Crumpler is the tight end on the left-hand side.
And you're going to see Torrey Holt down here on the bottom of the screen run a go. There's
and
the fake.
Bulger somehow gets away from pressure, throws to Crumpler. LG Crumpler.
It's a touchdown. The fan has spoken. The fans called it.
We may have started something.
I can see the fans in Philadelphia now.
Algie Crumpler, the first Falcons tight end since Junior Miller in 1981, gets the touchdown grab.
Wasn't this beautiful? Crumpler's getting tied up at the line of scrimmage, but then he just breaks to the outside. Now, you can't. They're trying to knock the ball away, and that with that big guy, you don't.
Jerome Woods trying to knock the ball out, couldn't do it.
And Bulger has thrown his 3rd touchdown pass. That ties Joe Theismann and Phil Simms. He has nearly a full quarter left to break that record.
ESPN's coverage of the AFC-NFC Pro Bowl brought to you by the all-new Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized. FedEx, you can always rely on the ultimate in reliable shipping. Relax, it's FedEx. And Fidelity Investments. Stop by your local Fidelity Investor Center today.
Back in beautiful Hawaii for the AFC-NFC Pro Bowl. And we have had a point explosion in this game. It's 45-34.
They want another play sent down.
That's right.
Those were the fans in Philadelphia calling it.
We may have started something. Derek Mason to the goal line. Gets to the outside, taken down at the 23. Mark Bulger, one of the quarterbacks wired. Let's listen in on the last touchdown.
You Seattle, I want it.
Nice job.
I like this offense.
Hey, keep it up. Keep it up.
I like this offense.
12 passes, 3 touchdowns. Not bad.
I like this offense.
Mike Martz making a note. He likes this offense. We'll throw a few of these things in. Did a pretty good job in the one he runs in St. Louis as well.
Yes, he did. Threw for over 3,800 yards this year. Peyton Manning is back in for the AFC as they are being threatened at this point. Peyton trying to go to work. Near side to Gonzalez. Gonzalez taken out of bounds by Oakley. Let's go to Susie.
Clinton Portis is making his Pro Bowl debut. As you're diving toward the end zone, how much you thinking about what the winners are taking home from this?
Well, I'm thinking a lot about it. You know, I think I need that. I brought enough people out here, so, you know, hopefully that'll put my money back. You know, I had like 15 people come out for the game. So in between plane tickets, hotel rooms, and meals, I think I need that 35.
This week, you alluded to a little trouble in paradise. Anytime a player who's under contract starts to talk contract, there's a certain perception. What can you clear up about that?
Well, this is a rough situation. You know, I think it was a misconception. You know, I didn't bring my contract up. It just happened to come out. But at the same time, you know, I'm under contract and I'm not getting paid what I'm worth. But, you know, I can't do nothing about it because I am under contract. So if they don't choose to take care of me, that's them. You know, I got to play out my contract. I got 2 years left.
Thanks, Clinton. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Dexter Coakley has just recovered a fumble, the third that the AFC has lost in this game.
And now it's Peyton Manning is the guy. He didn't drop one in the first half.
Well, different. Yeah, here again, you had Tom Nalen this time. We saw Trent Green miss one with Kevin Mawai. Now you get another one with Tom Nalen. I mean, it's so different for both the quarterback and the center. It's the one thing that really is so difficult to practice.
Bulger, Bubba Franks had it and couldn't hold it.
Ed Reed on the coverage.
Well, I tell you what, you talk about staying with the coverage. Ed Reed. Here's Bubba. The ball is in the Bubba Franks. That ball is in the air. Watch Ed Reed. He just brings him down. He stays with him. If he lets him go and doesn't get his hand in there, Bubba has a chance of catching that ball.
Ed Reed is such an impressive young man to spend time with. I mean, we talked about the preparation for Michael before that and the time he spends with Ray Lewis. Young guy only in his second year, his first Pro Bowl.
That was the same play that they ran to Algie Crumpler for the touchdown, only this one went to Franks. And now Amon Green inside the 20 on the delay. Casey Hampton with another tackle.
Now the NFC is within, actually as a combined score, they're within 4 points of tying or breaking, breaking the record here in the Pro Bowl for most points scored. It's a record-breaking performance by these guys. Andy Reid wouldn't mind winning one of these.
3rd and 6. Of course, a field goal would put them within 8. Bulger with a pump fake, throws for the end zone. Holt can't make the catch. Outstanding coverage by Patrick Surtain.
Absolutely no pass interference ever in a Pro Bowl game.
No. Very seldom. Offensive receivers don't do that anyway. What a terrific play by Torrey Holt. Paul, you mentioned before, you talked about guys on the offense having to become defensive backs. That time Torrey Holt had to get his hand up and knock it away.
And Jeff Wilkins will come in for a field goal try. He's hit 2 of 3 today.
Let the adventure continue for the kicking game of the NFC.
Now keep an eye on the rush. See if it changes here in the 4th quarter.
It can.
See if they stand up quicker. Oh, no!
And Wilkins missed it.
He missed it.
They had a chance to get within 8. They're still down by 11. In 1990, the NFL began a Teacher of the Year program to honor classroom teachers who were influential in the early academic development of NFL players. This year's Teacher of the Year, Julianne Bush from Mark Twain Elementary School in Iowa City, Iowa. She was nominated for the award by her former student, Tim Dwight of the San Diego Chargers. And our congratulations to her.
One other congratulation goes out to George Kamau, Keoki Kamau's dad. Keoki was a trainer with the Redskins. His father was honored with the Val Pinchback Meritorious Award for 25 years of service at the Pro Bowl. Been here for everyone. George, great guy.
AFC takes over. They run a reverse to Hines Ward. Corey Chavis takes him out of bounds. Let's go to Morton.
I am with the new Hall of Fame inductee Bob Brown, the great tackle, played with 3 different teams, the Eagles, the Rams, the Raiders, and went to the Pro Bowl with all 3 teams. Bob, how big a thrill has this been for you?
This is absolutely the greatest thrill of my life. I'm excited, I'm thrilled, I'm overwhelmed. I can't say enough about what this experience is.
Were you starting to give up hope as the years passed by on this one?
Well, I'm 26 years after the fact, so I was starting to wonder, but they say good things come to those who wait, and I've been waiting a long time.
And good things come to a good man. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Morton.
Congratulations to all 4 of those guys. It's a shame, well, he's having a baby. So Barry Sanders is not here. But I tell you what, you know, all the Super Bowl rings you see,
And then when you see a guy walk around with the Hall of Fame ring, it's not gaudy, but boy, you know what it is.
And you know what an exclusive club it is when Bob Brown and Carl Eller have to wait that long to get in. First down AFC at its own 38. Manning with plenty of time. And just throws this one away.
Oh, we're going to have roughing the passer.
And he got hit.
I think that's Corey Simon. Looks like he's taken on Will Shields, and this time I think he got to Peyton.
And Corey very slow to get up.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 90 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And that's the first one of those we've had. And
Yeah,
Corey got the worst of it
well,
somehow.
yeah, it's got to be blatant when you do it, though. Here's Manning. He's waiting. Now Corey Simon throws. Oh, he cut his legs out.
Oh, you know something? He knew it right away. I don't know whether he felt. I don't believe that he did that on purpose.
I don't either.
I really don't. I just think he might have been tripping and went down because these guys have way too much respect for one another. I think when he went to the ground, you could almost see him cover his face like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Or what happened?
You know, you really there isn't a guy on this field that I've even never heard of that's ever played in this game that would do something.
No, they're
like
not going to hit a quarterback low.
And Corey Simon, I had to feel he's same as you did, Joe. He's going down.
He also got the worst of it.
Led his team in sacks with 7.5 this year.
All right, here it is from high. Now Corey Simon, here he comes in here. Oh man, wait a minute! He takes a shot right at his knees. So
I don't know.
He wasn't tripping.
I don't know.
Well, he had been down earlier on the play and got up. Perhaps he was off balance.
You'd have to only assume that. There's a guy who's not been off balance. Marvin Harrison. He's been nothing but on balance all day.
But the official rightfully threw that flag. Marvin Harrison on the reverse, and now he's going to throw. Underthrown, and Champ Bailey with the interception.
I'll tell you what, this play had no from the beginning. When Marvin Harrison catches the ball on the reverse, he has to run inside the defensive man, not out around where you would like to go. But Champ Bailey, you know, here's a guy that has to be considered as one of the most valuable players in the game. Take a look at Champ Bailey. He isn't fooled by Hines Ward or anything else, and he just makes a wonderful play on this ball.
He's had 2 other chances for interceptions, and this one he goes up to again. I agree. You know, Paul, I agree with you. I mean, you can look at all the offensive stats, but he's the guy that sort of kept the NFC around making big plays.
The AFC has given the ball away 4 times in this half, 3 fumbles, and now that interception.
And they were in excellent field position, you know.
1 other fumble nullified by
Right.
a penalty, so really would have been 5.
So Bulger has to start from his own 11, quickly out to Torrey Holt. McAllister pushes him out of bounds after a gain of nearly 10 yards.
You got to think. You know what you can really think about. Now there are how many guys? There's 86 of them.
Right.
What, 80 of them, Joe, hadn't played in 3 weeks?
About that, yeah.
And they've been on this field. They've been out here since what? 2 o'clock this afternoon?
It's about 4 hours.
And they're getting a little tired.
In the beautiful Hawaiian sun, you're right. Plus, the other thing is the corners cannot press outside. I mean, Mark Bulger could just throw this pass all day long to Torrey Holt.
And a huge game for Holt so far, 6 carries, 114 yards. And there goes Sean Alexander rumbling out to the 34. Let's check in with Susie.
Chiefs right guard Will Shields has been to 9 consecutive Pro Bowls, more than anybody else here. What's better, number 1 or number 9?
They're all just as good, but you know, when you're getting older, it gets a little tougher, you know, to get ready for the game and that kind of thing. So you do your best, but it's a good feeling to be, you know, just honored to be in that ranks of being a Pro Bowl player.
9 Chiefs selected, the most for any team, and you guys all chipped in to bring 50 staff. How does that all come about?
Well, that sort of started with Priest a couple of years ago. He wanted to bring the whole team, and so it's been an ongoing thing where we just sort of bring as many people as we can. And so this year ended up being 50 people that took us up on it.
Good job.
Thanks.
I'll tell you what, when he's talking about getting older, he looks like he's about 21 years old.
I'm going to tell you something else about this young man. He was also the Walter Payton NFL Player of the Year award recipient this year. I mean, Troy Vincent last year received the same award. First of all, the award speaks for itself when it's named after such a man as Walter Payton. I've been lucky enough to have been a recipient of the Man of the Year awards as well, and it recognizes his service to the community outside of the game of football. And those are the things you need to know about the people that play for Lamar Hunt and the Kansas City Chiefs.
And
every one of them class guys.
It doesn't just mean that he writes a couple of checks either. He's deeply involved in it. Lavernius Coles gets a block after making the catch down to the 24. And Mark Bulger with a sensational last third of the game and has his team on the move again.
Dan Snyder, owner of the Redskins, have to be sitting home saying, that Champ Bailey guy, you know, he's a free agent, by the way. And look at Lavernius Coles make the play.
I tell you, Bulger is putting this ball right on target. He really has not thrown more than 1 or 2 bad passes.
The thing is, I mean, Pro Bowl balloting sometimes is pretty easy. In this game, you've got 5 or 6 guys. Mark Bulger, Torrey Holt, you've got Champ Bailey.
Peyton Manning, you can't forget about what he did in the first half of the game.
Sean Alexander in the first quarter.
Bulger again, another strike to Coles, taken out of bounds by Ty Law.
Seize the opportunity. I think that's got to be Mark Bulger's new nickname. He did it with the Rams when he had a chance to play, and now here he is coming in, bringing the NFC hopefully back within striking distance. Plenty of time left, a little over 7 minutes in this quarter.
And when they get, if they get the touchdown, they're going to have to go for 2.
He led the league this year with 59 completions of 20 or more yards. That's a huge number. 10 out of 18 in this game, 148 yards, 3 touchdowns. Sean Alexander dancing, trying to find the seam, gets down to the 11.
Probably 30 of them to Torrey Holt.
Exactly.
Well, you know, we've been talking all week long, and this is my first Pro Bowl to do, and, you know, asking the guys, and we even asked Coach Andy Reid, you know, what do you think about the game? You know, if it gets way ahead, do they kind of get out of it? He said, you watch what happens when this game gets into the fourth quarter, and they're close.
Oh, yeah.
He said, you're going to see some pretty good football now.
Well, except for the missed field goal, they'd be within 8 right now. Bulger under pressure, a little swing to Alexander. What a move! Sean Alexander somehow got away from Al Wilson, left him in his tracks.
Here's one of those deals where Al Wilson does not want to see it. There's a flag on this play, but Sean Alexander just stepped back. Al Wilson goes down. Here's a little flip to the outside. Sean Alexander sees Al Wilson.
And then puts the move on him.
Richard Seymour will be called for unsportsmanlike conduct after the play, and that's going to be an automatic first down for the NFC.
Of course, I had a chance during this week, which you do, to talk to the players, and Richard Seymour said the New England Patriots will be in a much better mindset to defend their title than they were after Super Bowl 36, which I'm sure is not a pleasant sight for anybody in the league.
Bulger to Alexander, touchdown, and Mark Bulger has just set a new Pro Bowl record with his 4th touchdown pass, breaking the mark set by our own Joe Theismann and tied by Phil Simms.
That should be considered like a lateral. That shouldn't be considered a pass. I'll put an asterisk by that one. That was a little flip.
Hey, and he's got plenty of time left to look for another one, too.
Here's the Joe Theismann record breaker.
A little flip. Another one, Sean Alexander had the great first quarter. Now has come back and done very well here.
And now they will go for 2. 12 out of 20 for Bulger, 152 yards, 4 touchdowns. Beasley is the only setback. Bulger trying to find somebody and taken down, and Al Wilson wasn't going to let him go.
Al Wilson he came up the field and he said, I'm not going to take a fake. You're going down.
The NFC closes the gap again. Stay tuned for SportsCenter. Coming up next, John Anderson, Stuart Scott. The NFL's top plays of the playoffs are all accessed with Tom Brady at Pebble Beach and the Lakers with a magical finish, all coming up when we're done here from Honolulu And the NFC has really made a game of it. They were down by 25. Now they're one touchdown away from winning it.
Tom Brady living life large.
Isn't he, though?
When you're the MVP.
And he deserves it, too. Derek Mason deep to receive the kick from the 10. Has a seam up the middle, now takes it to the outside. Knocked down by Brian Urlacher.
Ever since Mark Bulger has come in, he has just lit it up. Starts out with his first pass, going to go to his teammate Torrey Holt. Little pump and go. And there it is, number 1. Now Keenan McCardell comes across underneath, gets himself another touchdown. Why not come back, step up? Where's Alge Crumpler? This play was called by the fans. He fights his way into the end zone, and now the little shovel pass, the record-breaking touchdown catch by Sean Alexander.
And whose record was that?
Phil Simms.
Priest Holmes hitting the backfield, drop for a loss of about 5. Corey Simon, let's go to Mort.
Mark Bulger. Mark, you have broken the all-time Pro Bowl record. Touchdown passes for it. Joe Theismann and Phil Simms. Theismann said it should be an asterisk because of the shovel pass.
Maybe. If I can get one more, then we'll make it legitimate.
What about working with your teammate, Torrey Holt? You changed the terminology a little bit, I understand.
It helps a lot. You know, everyone in this league runs pass routes different, and we had a play called Colorado on. I switched it to a 2 shake just because that's what we're familiar with, and it worked.
This offseason's been, even this week's been interesting because Kurt Warner's been in the news with the controversy. You feel like sometimes you're in the middle of something you never asked for?
You know what? I took the lead here. That's great. You know what? I'm just here having a great time playing with all these guys. On 4 touchdown passes, we just took the lead. There's plenty of time to worry about that stuff.
All right, Mark. All right, guys.
Dre Bly just went 31 yards for a touchdown with the interception, and do you believe it? Down by 25. No team in Pro Bowl history has ever been down by more than 12 and come back to win the ball game.
Boy, does he jump this route to Derek Mason. And then what a terrific job. I mean, here's a guy, we talk about guys that play in places. Anquan Boldin in Arizona, not with a whole lot around him. Dre Bly up in Detroit. And Steve Mariucci, one of his guys, showing very well. And of course, Peyton Manning says, I've seen this too often.
Well, let me just tell you what. Your record sticks around for a while. You got 1. Most attempts without an interception. Still here.
As Peyton was on the verge of breaking that one.
He was on the verge of breaking 27. He threw an interception.
Thanks for not telling me.
Dre Bly, who played in 4 years in St. Louis. First Lions corner since Lem Barney in '77, and they will go for 2. Leading 46-45.
Man, this could set us up for overtime.
Yes, it could.
Wow.
Bulger gives it to Amon Green. They got the 2.
And then we could set a record for the longest Pro Bowl in the history of the world.
I think we already have.
Welcome back to ESPN, folks. You thought this was going to be a blowout? We don't have them on ESPN.
48-45.
Boy, I tell you, when you get a team fired up, look at the way that offensive line. Remember, now this is just man-on-man blocking. They do a tremendous job to open up that hole for Amon Green.
We'll be back with more in the second half from Duke, North Carolina.
Let's go to Mort. He has Dre Bly.
That's right. Dre, you jump in front of Derek Mason. You pick off Peyton Manning. Now you got the lead. Tell us about the play.
It was a curl route. Just read Peyton, read the receiver, read the route, and I was able to make a play.
You guys have come from so far behind. What does it mean?
It means a lot, man. They asked me when it was 38-13, what did I think? I told them it was a long football game left ahead of us. And, you know, with the way we can put up points and all the playmakers we have, we still right in it.
There's still plenty of game for them because Peyton Manning gets the ball back.
That's why I need to go get my helmet and buckle up.
I love when we interview a guy right after he runs like 50 yards.
Absolutely.
Well, now all of a sudden you got guys on the NFC kickoff cover team getting ready to get out on the field and going. This whole game has taken on an entirely different complexion now as we go through with 4 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Little bit of, even Michael Strahan's out there dancing.
The NFC has scored 5 touchdowns in its last 7 possessions. Mason driven back to the 2. And taken down at the 23-yard line. The NFC players wired and fired up.
Having a good time.
Was that a linebacker in there without a shirt on?
That was, well, LeVar was in there whooping.
A little bit of a different look for you. We've got a steady cam out there on the field, right zoomed into the huddle.
And now the AFC finds itself behind. Peyton Manning under pressure from Simon, gets to the Gonzalez. Gonzalez belted from behind Leonard Little. What a shot.
I'll tell you what, when you line up a guy and you're going to take him out like on a block, here's a guy, a defensive end, lines up a tight end, and he knows, he sees him dancing, he knows he's going to take him out. He's going to have the clear shot to do it, and Leonard Little, but Gonzalez bounces right back up.
Manning goes to the shotgun. Gonzalez couldn't hold it. Peterson in coverage.
This game is, all of a sudden, the defensive backs are a lot closer to the wide receivers. The defensive guys are breaking on the ball a little bit more.
The line's rushing harder.
You look at the defense line, it may be just one-on-one, but I'll tell you right now, Jonathan Ogden has got his hands full out there with Kamir Biaggiamila. Chris Jenkins, Corey Simon, Michael Strahan.
Manning with a pump fake, then looks left, throws deep for Johnson and too far, covered by Dre Bly. Dre's having a good time.
Peyton Manning wants to go for it here on 4th down.
You have 3 minutes and 50 seconds left.
Dre Bly, I tell you what, you look at that. That was outstanding coverage. Manning just threw this ball way downfield. But Bly, this guy, you remember, he just intercepted a pass, went for a touchdown. Nobody's tired now. Not when you're ahead. Not at the end of the game. You just don't get tired.
Well, he's taking a little while to get back to his position, though.
And they will go for it on 4th and 2.
Tony Gonzalez.
This one's tipped and intercepted. Corey Chavis. Inside the 20, 10, 5, touchdown. No, out of bounds at the 2. Dexter Coakley tipped it, and Corey Chavis, in his first Pro Bowl from the Minnesota Vikings, gets the interception. He had 8 during the regular season, third in the NFL.
Almost the entire bench empties for the NFC. I mean, these guys are so juiced up. Dexter Coakley, number 52, goes right through his hands. Corey Chavis says, wait a second. There's a ball floating around out here.
But did you see what Dexter Coakley did? He gets back up and he makes the block on Tom Nealon, the center. Nealon, the center. I mean, he tips the ball, then gets back up, then makes a block.
And that was Willie Anderson from the Cincinnati Bengals that knocked Corey Chavis out of bounds.
The AFC has committed 6 turnovers in this half, and it has been a remarkable comeback for the NFC All-Stars.
Unfortunately, we've seen that look on Peyton's face before, a little frustration.
Alexander, the running back behind Beasley, they place it just inside the 2.
Play action pass?
No, I think Sean's going to get it. And get the touchdown. This is amazing. The PAT will give us 100 points in the Pro Bowl.
The other record was 82.
Yeah, that's right.
That just puts in perspective. 18 more points, and the AFC still has 3 minutes and 32 seconds.
Basically 55 to 45. if he makes the extra point.
Well, he missed the field goal.
Wow.
There's some college basketball games you don't get this many points. Wilkins for the point after.
Well, I'll tell you what, the people wanted to see a football game. They got it. They got it.
If you like offense, this is your game. And consecutive interceptions for Peyton Manning, who had had a brilliant start to this game.
Just let me ask you a question, Joe. And you look at, here's Peyton Manning. McNair goes in, plays one series, plays one play, throws a touchdown. And Peyton Manning comes in. He plays, Joe. Now he doesn't play for, what, almost a half of a ball game, or equivalent in time. Now he comes back in. How do you get yourself back into the rhythm of a game?
I don't think it's so warm here. I don't think you ever really get out of it. And the one thing about Peyton Manning, and you saw those statistics, the NFC with 6 takeaways, the AFC with 1. You never really get out of it, Paul, and especially with Peyton Manning, because this is his offense. The only problem is Tony Gonzalez doesn't know it quite as well as he does. And you know, you got Chad Johnson and Derek Mason. They're all new to what Peyton is familiar with.
Since the middle of the third quarter, the NFC has outscored the AFC 42-7.
Look at the NFC guys dancing. They're having a good time. Even T.O.
Boy, it's amazing how things change from one side to the other.
You can just see the NFC guys saying, I brought my mother-in-law, my 2 cousins, my wife, my 3 kids. Yeah, 30,000, 35,000 out of just about covered.
We're down how much? Now we need this one run back for a touchdown.
Absolutely. Mason, 3 yards deep. There's never been a kickoff return for a touchdown. There's not going to be here as Corey Chavis makes the tackle.
Hey.
Wednesday night at 9 on ESPN, you'll see Yao Ming, Stevie Francis, and the Houston Rockets against Shaquille O'Neal and the Lakers in a key Western Conference matchup. The game also available on ESPN HD. It's NBA Wednesday on ESPN.
Michael, you were talking about how many points the NFC scored up against the AFC. Wilkins missed a field goal, and it was basically a chip shot. So that should have been another 3.
So Manning needs 2 scores. He has certainly done this before. Priest Holmes and Arrington, who has made a slew of tackles, makes this one to 29.
He got 28 in 4 minutes, and he only needs 10 in 3, so it's conceivable.
Right.
The problem is that these guys, as you said before many times, they don't know the offense that he's calling.
Here comes Baja Biamila again, and he was held by the face mask that time on the way in.
Clock just continues to run. You just love the passion that these Pro Bowlers play with.
Manning throws this incomplete. Mason in between 2 defenders. The ball was behind him. That stops the clock at the 2:37 mark.
100 points.
All right, be honest. When it was 38-13, any chance the NFC was going to come back?
Sure.
Absolutely.
No question. Wait
a minute. I said be honest.
We talked about
lying dogs.
We talked about that, didn't we, Paul?
Yeah, we said
fact, it's funny you mentioned it now because we were just thinking back when they were down by that many points.
No, not the way the AFC was playing.
Peyton under pressure, throws sideline to Chad Johnson. He makes the catch at the 49.
I like the way Chad Johnson just catches the football, run. He just really is special.
Well, every single one of these guys, which you had a chance to see the practice of, they're wide receivers. They catch the ball with their hands, and they really, not being insane, they really make it look easy, Joe.
You're right.
It's just their hands are so soft, they just catch everything.
And their breakout years. Chad Johnson had one this year. Torrey Holt had one this year.
Manning this time to Mason, and Mason will get out of bounds at the 35-yard line. 6 catches for Derek Mason. You just mentioned Chad Johnson. He's gained 133 yards receiving today. And the clock stops at the 2:21
Well,
mark.
I've written down 7 different MVPs and crossed them out. I mean, sooner or later, we have to do something.
Oh, I've got to go with Bulger. 4 touchdown passes and a Pro Bowl record.
You know, I'm thinking it's Champ Bailey. I mean, the plays that he has made.
Not
really...
a bad choice either. Manning fakes the draw. Peyton Manning to Johnson. Stays on his feet, goes out of bounds at the 11.
But I tell you about it, make it look easy. I'm telling you, they just show you so much. Their hands are so soft. And you talk about the total concentration on the ball. This is, you know, here comes Manning throwing this thing out here to Chad Johnson. Oh, watch this. Watch him catch the ball. Watch how easy this is. In his hands, looks upfield. I mean, that's easy.
And he victimized Champ on that one.
Corey
Chavis
Chavis
shoves him out of bounds.
Corey Chavis does a good job of heading him towards the sideline.
Manning, pressure from behind, throws it away. Boy, Gbaja-Biamila has just been a handful for everybody.
Well,
he got here yesterday.
He should have been asleep hours ago.
Well, it's Brad Hopkins is not. I mean, he just can't stay with him. Brad Hopkins is number 72, and he gets a jump to the outside. Now, watch this. Here comes some speed. He's got him by the face mask, which should have been called, and he breaks through that, and he's back at Peyton Manning's face.
That's the second time Brad has grabbed that face mask and just tried to drag him down.
He grabs it, noticing going by him.
See, that's what not practicing all week will do for you.
Richardson on the draw. Urlacher makes the tackle.
Well, KGB is also in on the tackle.
2-minute warning comes at 1:59. Back to Honolulu in a moment. John Anderson and Stuart Scott standing by for SportsCenter. They'll have the top plays of the playoffs in the NFL. Our all-access look at Tom Brady while he plays at Pebble Beach, and a Lakers magical finish. All on SportsCenter when we're done here. And who knows, we might be a while. It's only 55-45, and the AFC is driving. Touchdown makes it a 3-point game. And then an onside kick, and I will guarantee you there will be 20 guys out there who have never been on an onside kick.
Well, no, I would think that the receiving team, a lot of those guys playing that because of the
Maybe
hands
a
team.
couple.
But it's the kicking guys.
Manning trying to make that a possibility. Looks one way, throws the other. Touchdown.
What a catch by Hines Ward.
Well, you know what? I've been telling everybody about and looking what guys with hands. Here's a guy with a set probably the best hands in football. Hines Ward, watch him snatch this ball out of the air. Watch his hands, folks. Bang. That's it. He's already got control.
Boy, Peyton just rockets this one. How many times have we seen Marvin Harrison in a very similar situation make that kind of a catch?
Man, oh man, oh man.
52.
Vanderjagt with the point after. This is only the third time in NFL history we've had more than 100 points scored in a game. The other two were regular season games.
We're going for 200. Come on, boys.
55-52.
That was the 8th career touchdown pass for Peyton Manning. That is a record in the Pro Bowl.
Boy, he's going to put that record like so far out there. As many as he's going to get to.
I can see the guys in the AFC in the huddle saying, okay, this is called an onside kick. Is that what this is called?
Leroy Glover's going, it wasn't supposed to be quite like this. We're not supposed to be out here to up and down the field.
They started when the sun came up, and now we're playing until the sun goes down.
That's right. That 8th touchdown pass, by the way, broke Richie Gannon's record of 7. And that is our choice for the MVP,
Well,
Mark Bulger.
Let me just throw another little added deal at you. They both still have 3 timeouts remaining. Hello?
The old record for either team to score points was 51. The AFC has broken that record. They're behind.
This is funny. And it's so dark up here in the booth now we can't see anything.
It is.
I mean, the sun's gone down. Now, do they have? They don't have to go onside kick. They can kick it off and use their timeouts.
They got their timeout.
Yeah, they just use their timeouts.
You got that right, big boy.
But the NFC is not taking any chances. They're going to put everybody except one player 10 yards away from the ball. And Lavernius Coles, or excuse me, Jerry Azuma is the only deep man.
Yeah, you got Troy Vincent, Keenan McCardell, and Fred Beasley right in the middle.
And I'll tell you what else you have. You have both kickers are out on the field for the AFC.
So both Vanderjagt and Hentrick.
They worked on a lot of this stuff where they just popped that ball.
They actually did.
It's Hendrick that does it.
They worked on onside kicks during practice.
Here we go. Try to pop it straight up in the air. Fair catch made and caught, and then a flag for interfering with the fair catch.
What a smart move by Alex Bannister. That's why he's the special teams guy. Knew exactly what to do. Fair catch it. They aren't supposed to hit you. Notice I said supposed to.
Look at his heads-up play. Bannister, look at, and that's a clear signal for a fair catch.
And Willie McGinnis decides he's going to drill him anyway.
Yeah, why not? Let's take a shot.
Well, he says, I'm not necessarily on this team, and this ought to prove that I never want to be.
Now the officials talking it over. They're having a good time, too. Scoreboard operator's the most tired guy in the entire building.
Him and your tongue.
He's out of numbers, man.
I mean, all the work that you did for the pregame. And
I hadn't planned on speaking this long.
Oh. All righty, it's pretty simple. Torrey Holt helping out a little bit. Steve McNair took his pads off about 4 hours ago. He threw the touchdown pass to Chad Johnson.
The onside kick was kicked up in the air. The receiver made a fair catch signal. It is fair catch interference with a member of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Oh, that's...
See, now, the way this is kicked, it is not kicked into the ground.
Right. I think that may have been part of the discussion.
Right. If the ball was kicked into the ground and bounced up, the fair catch signal would be null and void.
Besides that, it wouldn't be illegal.
That's right. It wouldn't happen. It would have been over with. There's the fair catch, and here comes Willie McGinnis. Now, he doesn't know that he's just trying to get around Keith Brooking.
Oh, boy.
Well,
there are going to be some timeouts here.
I think he goes for number 5 here.
The AFC has its full complement.
And now you've got a Green Bay Packer center, a Green Bay Packer guard, a Green Bay Packer tight end.
Bulger fumbles the snap from center and got it back.
And a St. Louis quarterback who fumbled the ball.
And a St. Louis quarterback, you're right.
Mark Bulger is the player of the game, a Pro Bowl record 4 touchdown passes, 12 out of 20, 152 yards. Came into play the last third of the game, and the guy who is 18-4 as a starter for the St. Louis Rams adds this to his resume in his first Pro Bowl. It's not going to be his last either.
You think there's going to be a controversy there? Huh?
Well, I don't think there's a controversy. I think Mark Bulger is going to be the quarterback of the St. Louis Rams. I think the question remains is where will Kurt Warner wind up going and playing quarterback?
Right.
And will he have to compete? Will he go in and have a job? I mean, I think the questions really revolve around Kurt Warner more than they do whether or not Mark Bulger will be the quarterback of the Rams.
And there is a question of whether it would be cheaper for the Rams to keep him rather than trade him or cut him.
I just think it would be a deterrent personally for him to stay there. It wouldn't benefit him at all.
Sean Alexander never had a chance. Dwight Freeney was waiting for him.
Excuse me, and Mark Bulger was one other guy that beat Joe at golf the other day, too.
No, he didn't.
He did. He's on the other team.
I think he's the only one.
No, he's on the other team.
Oh, that's
paid,
true.
remember?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
You know, there was a funny story about Freeney, who just made that last tackle in high school. He played soccer, and he was a goalie. And normally a soccer goalie in high school has to face 14 or 15 shots. He was on a terrible team, and he had to face 50 shots a game. He said, to heck with this, I'm going to go out for football.
Make it easier. I don't know if anybody has a quicker first step coming off the ball. I mean, to watch him play through the course of this year, to see him come off the ball. He's only 6'1". He's not a tall guy, and he uses it to his advantage. Says he has a very low center of gravity, which allows him to make the turn quick around the corner.
And right now, if they wanted to try a field goal from here, it would be 50 yards. Bulger back to throw. Alexander on the draw. Lost his footing. Gets down to the 29. He would have had a first down if he had not fallen. Now it would be a 47-yard try if they want to go for the field goal.
You know,
or they can run a fourth down play.
I think you run a play.
I think you go for the field goal.
Or they can punt.
Well, the thing about a field goal, though, all right, so clarify it again. They can't rush him. They can just kick it.
Yeah.
But.
Well, what you do is you force the AFC to score a touchdown if you make it.
Exactly.
If you
with no timeouts remaining, but they've got an awful lot of time on that board.
Well, you know, you're going to have Peyton Manning with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. I mean,
not if you run a play.
You're looking at 4th and 10 here.
And 1 minute 20 for Peyton Manning is a lifetime. He's proven that time and time again.
Throw it in the end zone. Go for it all, Paul. Don't you agree?
No.
Oh. He's got Torrey Holt and Keenan McCardell as wide receivers. 4th down.
Absolutely not. Don't go to the end zone.
Bulger with a pump fake throwing deep. Holt intercepted Brock Marion. Marion back to the 22.
Throw that ball in the end zone. That's what I would do.
I know. I thought you would.
Well, you know what? Brock Marion, I think, makes a huge mistake. He cost these guys about 8 or 9 seconds by bringing that ball out.
Yeah, it wasn't the yardage. It was the time. You're right.
If he's right back where he would, they get the ball at the 20.
Again, you see Mark Bulger trying to go to Torrey Holt because of the familiarity. Little pump fake, throw it up in the air. And Brock Marion just watching all the way. Torrey's going backwards. Brock goes up, takes it at the highest point, and figures, what the heck, maybe I can go 105 yards. Why not?
Yeah, okay.
They start from the 22 with 1 minute 15 seconds to go in the ball game. They do not have any timeouts. Peyton Manning throws sideline. Harrison on the comeback.
Now, Michael.
Wait, they throw a flag here, and it's going to be offensive pass interference against Marvin Harrison. He pushed off, and they called it on him.
Number 88 went out of bounds, came back, and he legally touched the ball. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
I was saying he pushed up, but he went out of bounds and then came back in.
Let me make a point about the AFC if they do get the chance. And here's Marvin coming down.
I'm trying to do a replay here. So he goes out of bounds, then he comes back in.
Illegal touching.
Illegal touching, and there's a penalty. Okay, go.
Okay. Kevin Mawai, who's the center for the AFC, can snap on field goals and extra points, so it shouldn't be a problem if the AFC gets in position to have an opportunity to kick it.
Harrison in between Bailey and Peterson. You get the idea. You got to put about 5 guys on Marvin Harrison right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, the rules don't let you. This is all Champ Bailey on Marvin Harrison.
No timeouts. Manning trying to get into field goal range. Hines Ward makes the catch at the 43. A gain of 19.
This is exciting.
It is.
This is great. What great drama.
Because I'm not going home for 10 more days. I'm going to Maui, so it doesn't make any difference. They can play all night if they want.
That's one of the pass routes they're running. Maui, Paul.
That Maui corner. Look at this.
Look at that throw.
Look at, again, I'm not belaboring the point about the hands, but look at how easy that is, Mike. They just, but you watch these guys in practice. Most of these guys will go down, Joe, and try to catch with one hand. They do a lot of one-handed catches just to get eye contact.
They've gained 40 yards in the last 15 seconds. Manning, another deep out. Catch made by Harrison, close to another first down.
You got the best kicker in all of football.
Only one he's missed was a 50-yarder.
Yeah, that was it.
And that one doesn't count on the record.
No, because he hadn't missed all year long.
Well, he'll pick it up starting at 41 next year.
That's right. Trying to improve his own NFL record.
Of course, Peyton would be satisfied with 1 for 1 here, starting over.
34 seconds left. Manning throws the out. Gonzalez went up. That stops it with 29 seconds. From here, it would be a 51-yard field goal try.
This is it. You can throw the ball in the middle of the field here, run up, spike it. Lots of things you can do. Got about 3 or 4 at least 3 or 4 plays left.
Now, if you're a player for the AFC right now, do you want to try for overtime, or do you want to go for the end zone and win it?
I think with 29 seconds go, you have to just try and get completions, and if the guy can break it and run in the end zone, fine. If not, I think you settle for the field goal attempt.
Guns that one, and Dre Bly was all over Harris.
Oh, he grabbed him and spun him around, and you know.
Let me tell you, if he doesn't
yeah,
grab
it's a touchdown.
Yeah, if he doesn't grab him and spin him.
There's no question it's a touchdown. Marvin Harrison has a touchdown. Bly saves it right here because he's already got him beat, and that ball was there.
See, now remember, these guys cannot come up and press them. To be honest with you, we talk about the difference for the wide receivers with quarterbacks and center exchanges. For these cornerbacks, they're so physical. They play a lot of press coverage. Now, all of a sudden, they have to play off all the time.
Now you've got 3 shots at the end zone before you kick the field goal. Oh, no.
Manning taken down from behind.
All these guys are in the end zone. They got to get back because they can't call timeout.
Chris Jenkins got the sack.
They got to wait till all these guys get back and lined up.
And Manning kills the clock with 4 seconds left. Huge play by Chris Jenkins. And without a timeout, Paul, you're absolutely right. These guys had to come on a dead sprint to get back.
Well, this is the one thing you just can't let happen. And look at Jenkins. I mean, he takes Dalen all the way back, and that's a center. One-on-one coverage, one-on-one blocking, and takes him all the way back. Man, I'll tell you what.
Great play by Chris Jenkins.
That's something you just don't want ever to happen at that point. Now they go for the tie.
Not in that position, not when you're that close.
Vanderjagt will try from 51 to tie it at 55.
And it does not look like there's much of a breeze down on the floor.
It's wide. The NFC down 38-13.
Well,
has come back to win it.
I'll tell you something else. They rushed it.
Well, sort of.
A couple of guys did.
Yeah, they did. They rushed it.
What a ball game.
Boy, this guy, I mean, he missed 2 long ones, 52, 51.
And he's not used to missing any of them. The final score, the NFC 55, the AFC 52. For Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, Susie Colbert, Chris Mortensen, and our entire ESPN crew. This is Mike Patrick saying goodnight from Aloha Stadium in Honolulu, Hawaii. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Good night, everybody.
ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.